I finally remembered to shove up the things for the sake of the thing. Which reminds me, we also have to hit the ad button, because, yeah. Words are hard. You ever tried saying words? Crap's not easy, man.
Words are, in fact, hard.
Right, and just, Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
Well, I use many words and few words something. I don't remember the...
Why use many words when few words also good?
Yeah,
I know why resize things just to whatever, it's fine. Hey, what's going on, doing King Golem, who probably can't hear me because the ad's running.
Hello.
Whatever, it's fine, yeah. God, it's been a bit. I have to remember what my buttons do, because it's like, yeah, this, and you have like that, and this, and this. Actually, I might, actually, how fast does it? Actually, crap, that is a little slow now that I'm actually looking at. I probably should, adjust that. Whatever, it's fine. Yeah, last task have, looked back at it's like, wait, the expressions are a bit slow, huh? I should probably, yeah, let's, turn this down a little just in case. About 270 something. Yeah, it's fine. I'll first as we go. It's no big deal. Okay, yeah. I'm at ads. Aw, heck yeah.
Yep, how you been, Golem?
Okay, yeah, that seems more like it. That seems closer to what I want. Yeah, I'll probably, adjust it more, but yeah, that's fine. Yeah, what's going on? So...
What the heck do you know about Star Wars?
I'm on a probable longer hiatus. Awesome. What the heck do you know about the Star Wars episode 3? Wait, was it Revenge of the Sith? Yeah, the Revenge of the Sith.
Nothing. Oh wait, that's Grievous, right? Except in the movie he sucks.
Yeah. So this is the whole thing. It's like... So, for context, for who might not know, up until this point, I've been doing a movie night, and I've been getting my friends to watch a bunch of Star Wars fan edits, which means I also have to re-watch the movies from, the original release to see what they changed, because, yeah, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
So... this has caused a weird recurring thing where it's every few months one of my movies will finally get picked and it'll be like, hey, I just rewatched Star Wars, let's talk about it for no reason. Those droids behind Grievous got deconstructed. The several other memes with Grievous and Kenobi. Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, the multi-arm meme is really good, where he just, he goes to, do his, four-arm thing, and he just forms, 100 arms with lightsabers, and, twirls them around and cuts himself apart by accident.
I'm just thinking of a dumb, GIF with, text on it or whatever. It just says, a fine meme, I'll add it to my collection, as he, grabs another lightsaber and puts it in his cloak or whatever.
That's one of the weird things, is that it's so I'm just gonna get into things a little bit, because it's alright, there is a whole weird thing with Grievous, because it's George Lucas wanted him to be a threatening Jedi hunter, but he also wants him to be this sniveling coward, Saturday morning cartoon villain who always runs away. And those things don't really work together. So it's there's a lot of Grievous being oh yeah, I'll add your lightsaber to my collection. And he's laughing, and he's got all these lightsabers from Fallen Jedi's and stuff. And then every time he has to fight, he kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's all I know, because anyone who's watched the podcast knows I don't watch Star Wars. I don't care about Star Wars, but What I've heard is General Grievous is cool in anything that isn't the original material he's from.
Kind of. There is a compilation from the Clone Wars TV show, like the CG one, of Grievous getting like the shit kicked out of him by every guy he fights.
I mean, to be fair, he can't win because he would just kill them, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. It's like the problem is Grievous can't win because like main characters would die, but he's also a robot, which means he can get like horribly mangled and brutalized and he'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't know. I
Yeah.
could see a situation where like maybe he beats a Jedi and then like like a bunch of their allies come in and save them or something. Like I don't know. They probably should have made it so that he wins sometimes.
Like the only time Grievous is useful is in the like Tarkovsky like actual like 2D animated series, which is a bunch of shorts. Cause one of them is just like a group of nothing like random like Jedi, including like masters and stuff. And they just like get pinned down by Grievous in this like I think it's like they're in like a giant alien skull or something they're hiding under. It's like some weird structure where it's all like, dimly lit and stuff. And Grievous is like Batmaning it up and he's like taking them out from the shadows. He's like doing crazy, like cool lightsaber stuff, He's like grabbing his lightsabers with his feet and like spinning around and crap and doing all kinds of insane bull crap.
Doing that riding stuff.
Yeah, he's doing the whole riding thing. He starts like doing spin crap because that's like one of the things I always really liked about Grievous is that it's like, oh, he's not human, so yeah, he just doesn't fight like a person, right?
He has crazy robot parts that let him spin his dual lightsabers like helicopters.
Spin his body, and he like like there's a point where he blocks 2 lightsabers with like both his arms, and he like just like opens up his like limbs and has like 2 separate arms that come out to grab other lightsabers so he can like keep fighting and overpower them.
Yeah, everything about Grievous screams that he should be really cool, and then then George Lucas wrote him, unfortunately.
There is an explanation, but it's kind of dumb. Because at the end of that Tarkovsky, like, 2D short series or whatever, there is a moment where, like, Grievous is like chasing after like the Jedi Masters, and he's like, he's killed most of them, like some of them are getting away. And he like jumps at Mace Windu, and Mace Windu like uses the Force to like crush his organ jar.
Sick.
Yeah, this is nothing. So it's like, okay, that's supposed to be the exclamation for like, yeah. If you're the X account, no, this is, yeah, no, I don't care about this. This is like fall for fall stuff, yeah.
No, thank you.
But it's like, yeah, there's a whole thing where, like, yeah, after that point, Grievous has a freaking, like, weird cough, and he's like, he's like, slower, and he's like, more frail and stuff. And it's like, okay, yeah, he actually got messed up, and he's like, he's like worse because he's like injured now, and he has to, just lean more into the robot stuff to make up for it. Whereas like before he could like, fight people off without the multiple arms, now he kind of like needs to do it like every time.
I won't ban it, but I did. So one of the messages we got there was like auto mod, and I denied it.
Oh yeah, I also hit deny.
I won't ban unless they start spamming.
Yeah, it's probably just a bot. But it's like, here's the funny thing, cause it's like, alright, there's also like backstory and stuff, and it's like, yeah, apparently Grievous is like a Mandalore hunter. I know he has like a comic series which looked pretty cool. I've never really like read through more than like the one random chapter I found, but it did look pretty cool. There's probably like books and expanded universe stuff and all this like, stuff. There's like the CG show that did him a lot of favors. Like, there's a lot of stuff for this character. If you're watching the movies, If you're only watching the movies, yeah, this film, episode 3, this is the first time Grievous appears in anything. This is the first time he's even referenced.
Dang.
Like, the screen crawl pops up and it's like, oh yeah, the Separatists are led by the evil General Grievous, and you're like, wait, who? Who? And they just, go onto a ship to save Palpatine, and it's like, oh, there's just a cyborg robot man, and it's like, who though?
General Grievous, he was always there.
Yeah, always. Yeah, of course. I think this is one of the weirdest things about episode 3, because it's like watching the CG show and stuff, which I hadn't finished, but I watched most of it. Like, it kind of weirdly both helps and hurts it, because on one hand, it's like, okay, yeah, I know the backstory for all these characters, and it fleshed out the world and stuff. But then on the other hand, it's also like, oh yeah, hey, remember that guy? That one dude who was like a really cool stormtrooper? And like, he had all this like complex stuff and he was just a really good guy. Yeah, he's just a scumbag now, don't worry about it.
Good old George Lucas. George Lucasing his own films.
Man, just being familiar with the CG show really paints Order 66 in a different light. Apparently there's like, exclamations later on. I hadn't finished it, I wouldn't know. Hates Mandalorians. His friend was a hyper-regenerating alien Mav Tishwin cartilage. And since he hates Mandalorians, he hates Jedi. Okay, oh, was that the deal with that? Okay, yeah, I remember that guy. Yeah, it's like Drur or whatever the crap. It's something like some D name or whatever. Yeah, and the like 2D shores, just this random like super regenerating alien Drow. Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Drow, huh?
There's just this like crazy super regenerating like alien bounty hunter guy in armor. So it's like the Jedi are like cutting his arms off and they just regrow and he keeps fighting. And they eventually have to just murder the crap out of him. That guy was so cool. I don't think he ever appears in anything else.
Does he just look like a regular, like, human, or does he actually look like a cool alien?
It's hard to tell. He's humanoid, but he's like, he's like 8 foot and like just a wall of muscle, and he's like covered in armor. So it's like okay. He always has like, a face mask on and stuff. He has like a helmet.
Okay, I'm just always curious about that kind of stuff in a setting where there's like aliens and whatever, because it's like, did they take the lazy route with the aliens, or did they do something interesting?
Let's see.
Most of what I've seen from George Lucas's design is it's an alien with like a maybe a weird prosthetic or something.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, Star Wars is made back in like what, the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Effects weren't
God.
as advanced then.
Yeah, back in the day, like, it's actually really funny when you look back at, like, like the first few movies, because they're just doing what they can to fill out those background characters. If you look close in, like, episode 4, like, in the first movie and stuff, there are just, like, dudes in the background wearing, like, like, Halloween costumes and shit. It's like, we got like, a wolf mask, screw it, just shove it on, guy, that's an alien now, done.
Got an alien wolf man.
Yeah. So
it makes sense, especially back before Star Wars became like a huge thing. They were probably using anything they get their hands on.
I'm going to shove up a picture of what this guy looks like in the Discord. Oh, Dirge, that's his name, not Drow. Yeah.
I was gonna say, that's weird. Drow's like a D&D thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Just like cool alien dude in armor, and it's like, oh well, yeah, he looks humanoid, but it's like,
Is that a lance?
Oh yeah, he has like a big spear, and he like, rides around on his hoverbike and like jousts people.
Pretty
And
sick.
yeah, towards the end, he starts going nuts and, like, you know, gets all, like, crazy looking. So it's like, yeah, actual alien, but it's like, you know, it's very ambiguous at points early on. Oh yeah, I forgot,
I
it's
could
like a friggin' jetpack, yeah.
I could believe that under that armor he looks like a weirdo.
Yeah, this dude's so friggin' cool. Like, look at this. This guy's freaking jetpack just flying around jousting dudes. Oh man. Yeah. I need to like rewatch the Tarkovsky cartoon at some point.
I've only heard good things about it.
Oh yeah, I remember like watching through it like as a kid all the way and watching like bits and pieces, but it's been a while since I've like actually seen the full thing. And you know what? From what I remember, it's like really cool. Like even for stuff that just doesn't even matter, it's like they gave like what's his face, Kit Fisto like an entire episode where you know he's the squid guy, so he just swims around underwater and fights like a droid underwater base and does cool underwater things. And it's like, you know what? That's a good underwater fight episode. It looks cool. I like that, you know, while his lightsaber's on, there's like all these crazy bubbles and stuff coming off of it because, of course, and it just looks really neat.
Yeah.
Kit Fisto uses War Gun. It's effective! The Ed Khan Calcacy. Yeah, yeah. He's just spaghetti in a suit of armor. Oh, that's a good way to explain it. God, episode 3 did Kit Fisto so dirty. Because it's like, you see him in like the second movie, episode 2, and you know, he looks alright. In episode 3, for more reason, his face is like different, and it's like way more like shrink wrapped to his like skull, and he has these weird teeth jutting out, and he just like looks way worse. He just like he dies in one hit out of nowhere and just barely even gets a passing mention.
Dang, this sucks.
Oh man, there's so many lore characters. Episode 3 is just like, yeah, no, everyone just dies. All these people, yeah, no, they're done. Shakti, dead. Like, freaking Plo Koon, dead. What's her name? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, Lumera dies at some point or something, or maybe I'm just... No, I don't think they actually show Lumera dying, but it's, like, implied, yeah. They don't even show Lumera dying. Holy crap! Seasons 2 and 3 of Clone Wars do him dirty, and don't get him started on Plo Koon off-screen death. Oh man. But yeah, I should probably actually talk about the movie, because, like, yeah, it just opens up, it's like, alright, yeah. So it's like, yeah, episode 1 was just a bunch of boring space politics, and the race happened, and then, like, they had a few vowels at the end, and it was nothing.
Yeah.
And episode 2 is just like a really whatever mystery that's just boring and doesn't matter. And it's like, oh, at the end there's a big battle. And it's like, okay, there's like maybe 1 or 2 sequences. And it's a lot of nothing. This is the first Star Wars movie where I'd look at and be like, okay, this is competent. This is like, okay, like film starts off and it's like, alright, first scene, we have a large-scale space battle. And it's like, yeah, everyone's in their little ships and they're just flying around, blasting down enemies, fighting droids and stuff, and having a little adventure with it. And it's like, okay, we have to like infiltrate Grievous's ship, like fight our way through it, get to the helm, rescue the senator, fight freaking Count Dooku, like have a rematch with him where we like, you know, Dooku just straight up fucking dies and could just murders him like a psychopath. And
Good.
then like escape, fight Grievous, of a whole confrontation with a big action scene, ended off with a big crash landing of the spaceship that they have to deal with. And it's like, yo, it's a pretty fun, engaging thing. And it's like, okay, now we're actually gonna deal with a bit of character stuff. But while we're doing that, Obi-Wan's also going to be on a mission to track down Grievous, so there's still action going. And it's like, okay, yeah, they got it. Like,
I figured it out.
yeah, the opening goes on a bit, but it's like, alright, they know how to, like, actually pace crap Abbott Bar now. Alright, it's like, you just have the whole, like, action scene, and, it's like, freaking characters are doing things, and they're, like, getting gags in, and they're, like, doing cheeky, like, one-liners and stuff. They're, like, riffing off each other a bit,
Yeah.
I should mention, like, first big change is that it's like, alright, the fan art of the movie that I'm watching, which is the HAL 9000 version, yeah, they just straight up, like, shortened that down, because it actually was a bit too long. But it's like, yeah, I caught a bunch of, like, the R2-D2 comic relief where he's like, he's, like, screwing around trying to get the elevators working, and he's, like, trying to, like, hide from the droids, and he's, like, lighting up jets of oil and stuff, and it's like, alright, yeah, cut out, doesn't matter, it's fine, we're getting straight to the action, and it's like, alright, sure. Yeah, and I'll transition to seeing deaths or permanent deaths, no backstories, no takebacks, no resets, yeah. And slowly everything's going too good, like uncomfortable levels of good. Yeah. But yeah, they go through a thing, They, like, have a whole sequence where it's like, oh yeah, they're attacked by, like, the freaking buzz droids that are trying to, like, cut their ships apart as they're, like, re-entering and stuff, and, yeah, they have a whole thing with it. But again, Count Dooku fight happens, they finally get the rematch with Dooku, and it's like, honestly, yeah, I genuinely do like a lot of the, like, banter they have in this sequence, because it's like, holy crap, George Lucas is actually writing characters that feel like they're saying things real people would say. Like, Anakin's just like, oh yeah, you're not gonna be us this time, Dooku. My powers have doubled since last time we met. And Dooku's just like, yeah, twice the arrogance, twice the fall. And it's like, okay, yeah, alright. Yeah, that big lightsaber fight where it's like, this is one of the complaints I do about the movie that I will, like, keep, like, kind of bringing up a bit, is that it's like, freaking characters will just straight up, like, say what their character arc is supposed to be. And it's the most unsolved crap, because it's like, alright, a few times it's fine, but it gets kind of excessive. Like, Dooku literally is like fighting Anakin, and he's just like, oh, I sense so much anger and hatred for you, you're like so bitter on the inside, and Anakin's like, I'm nothing like you or whatever. And it's like, okay, yeah, just straight up, like, we can't just, casually establish that Anakin's, like, bitter and, like, aggressive and stuff through his actions, and that he's, like, got, like, fear and stuff we have to have someone literally, like, look him in the eye and be like, oh, you're, like, angry and afraid, huh? But it's like, yeah, the whole fight where it's like Dooku, like, actually manages to, like, knock out Obi-Wan for a bit, which is kind of surprising. Like, he just manages to, like, push him away and, like, drop some shit on him and, like, knocks him out. So it's like, Anakin's just fighting Dooku, and he actually manages to, like, freaking slash his hands off and steal his other lightsaber. And it's like, they have the whole meme scene that, like, Demon King Golem's mentioning, where it's like, they're in the throne room, and Anakin's just like, he's literally disarmed Dooku. Like, there's nothing he can do. And he's just got the sabers, like, like, right up to his throat, like he's gonna scissor his, like, head off. And, like, Palpatine is just sitting in his, like, chair, tied up, just like, yes, good, Anakin, good. Fish him off. Do it. Do it, Anakin. It is the only way. It's like, yeah, immediately Anakin just kind of, like, just goes for it, like, no second thought. And I feel like this is, like, my second problem with the movie, is that it's like, oh yeah, there's not much of a moment where Anakin really, like, goes against Palpatine on this stuff. It's like, no, Anakin is just a violent sociopath, and he will just do what it takes to get what he wants. Just immediately, no hesitation. There's some ideas of love, Anakin just didn't kill him, but spares him for judgment. Yeah, because wouldn't Dooku, like, know who, like, Sidious is and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, would Dooku know the plan and be able to be like, oh yeah, Palpatine was, like, using me and all this stuff, and I'll confess everything, because, the Sith are constantly betraying each other. What if Dooku's just like, oh yeah, Palpatine wanted me dead, yeah, screw that guy, I'll spill the beans, use the, like, Jai mind trick force stuff, you can tell I'm not lying about this. He just, like, completely, like, doesn't resist so they can mind trick him into telling the truth so they can confirm his story. But yeah, Anakin just straight up, like, murders a dude immediately in cold blood, and, they don't even have to really, like, try hard to convince him or anything. Anakin actually goes up to Jaiora when he's got told actually they gang up on Palpatine. Yeah. Actually, does he, like, that kind of sort of happens, but it's like, oh boy. Because there's a point where he's like, oh yeah, I think Palpatine's a Sith Lord, and they have, like, 5 giant masters coming to fight him, and he kills, like, most of them in one hit. It's like, oh, alright, well, I guess we didn't have enough guys for this job. But yeah, they have the whole thing. They land back at Earth, or not Earth, like Coruscant. Well, I think it's Earth, but yeah, it's the main, like, freaking Jai planet or whatever.
Is Earth ever brought up in Star Wars?
There's never a point where it's, like, implied humans come from, like, any specific planet or anything. It's just like, oh yeah, Tatooine, Coruscant, yeah, whatever, humans are just, like, all over the place. It's like, what Earth, who cares?
To be fair, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, back in the ancient past when humans fought each other with laser swords.
Yeah, that's weird, but I mean,
yeah.
At least the, like, it's in a galaxy far, far away thing makes sense at least.
Yeah, alternate universe, whatever.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, what Earth? Humans were, like, freaking originally born on Tatooine or whatever. That's from the Tatooine monkeys and stuff.
Yeah,
that learned to climb the sand desert. Different reality and stuff, yeah. Honestly, there's probably some expanded universe explanation for, like, why a bunch of aliens are humanoid, but yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just something to do with, like, the wills or whatever the crap. Do people even, like, really know about the wills that George Lucas was just randomly, like, after he gave the rights away, he was like, oh yeah, I was going to create a bunch of, like, tiny microscopic beings called the wills that, like, dictate the force, and they're, like, all sentient and have their own, like, thoughts and stuff or whatever.
Midichlorians?
No, something different that he refers to as the Wills. And it's like, wait, what's this? Wait, is this
Uh,
something else? What?
a separate tiny entity that has to do with the
The Eight
Force.
Wills?
Stupid.
Oh man, it's something dumb. It's something. I know there's like some point in the CG show where there are giant space alien force gods or some crap. Where it's like there's a light one and a dark one and they're like fighting each other or something. I remember it being some weird crap like that. I'll have to like look into it, but yeah. I'm sure that'll come up later on as we go through this movie retrospective. The father, daughter, the son. Yeah, I think I remember something like that. Yeah. Where it's like the son and the daughter are like the light and the dark force or whatever or something. There's some weird bull crap. And every time they try to explain the freaking like force, it gets dumber. And it's like, yeah, you can just keep it at Space Wizards. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's like whatever, it's space wizard mysticism, and you can just move stuff with your mind and like extrasensory perception stuff.
Yeah, even if it's like sci-fi, it didn't really need like a sci-fi reason. Just space wizards. Just let it be space wizards, George.
Oh yeah, I forget if I mentioned this last time, but yeah, I was watching through a CG Clone Wars cartoon. You remember in like episode 1 where Anakin's just casually like, "Oh hey, Padme, are you an angel?" And it's supposed to be this cute line because he's a kid, but it's just really weird and like, unnatural sounding. And
I
I'm
vaguely
just
remember it.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, do angels exist in Star Wars? Turns out angels absolutely exist in Star Wars.
I think you brought that up when we talked about it, that there were literal
Yeah.
angels that are just around.
Yeah, there's like they're like bug people or so. They're like weird glowing like aliens with like glowing wings and stuff, and they're just casually referred to as angels. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess they retconned that into making sense, I guess. Sure,
And
why
then that
not?
and then that alien race has like this inflated ego because it's like, oh, they're like, it's like a
Oh
race of
yeah,
angels or whatever.
absolutely, yeah.
And
Oh
it's like,
man,
yeah, sure, why not?
why not? Makes sense. It's like, oh yeah, it's looked at Padme. He's like, oh yeah, she looks like this beautiful species of aliens. It's like, I'm trying to think what would be like a funny equivalent of this. Would be like a beautiful animal or something. It's like you look at like a pretty lady and it's like, are you a peacock or whatever? It's like, what? Okay. uh and it's probably a funnier one you'd like think of it, yeah. So it's like they go back to Coruscant and it's immediately like, bunch of quick character stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, hey, Anakin's like a hero, and yeah, the freaking, he's like saved the Chancellor, and he's like this big deal, and it's all great and stuff. Everything's going great, Obi-Wan's like finally like on good terms with him, he's like making out with his secret wife Padme. Apparently she's like pregnant and stuff. He's having nightmarish dreams about her dying horribly. Wait, what? But yeah. This is another quick change that like the fan art made, is that it's like in the original, like Anakin has the dream and he like clearly gets up and walks away and he's clearly like upset at. And Padme walks up and she's like, hey, was it that dream again? And Anakin's like, yeah, I keep dreaming that you're going to die and I don't know what to do about it or whatever. And he just pretty much like restates what you see. And like the fan like for better or for worse, because it's a bit less clear, he just, it's like the dream and he gets up and it's like, oh, he's like upset about things, and you kind of like get that expanded on like as it goes and becomes more obvious.
Instead of literally seeing it, and then he describes what we just saw.
Yeah, pretty much. because I should mention when I say like nightmarish dreams of her dying, it's like her screaming and crying in like this dark looking like filter, and he just like wakes up and he's like, oh god, that's not good. The assassins send our assassin, then the assassin sent robots, then the robots sent worms to kill Padme, and of course we can't sense the worms. Or wait, no, yeah, we totally could, but we can't sense the robot, so why... Or could they sense the... But then why the worms?
Just makes me think of Android Saga Dragon Ball. It's like, we can't sense the androids. Why? That's stupid.
I still don't understand why they have a literal, like, robot just fly outside the window, cut a hole in the window, and then, like, drop space worms into the room. Like, can't you just, like, have the thing have, like, a gun on it, and it just shoots through the hole with a gun?
It'd be a whole lot...
It'd be a whole lot simpler.
Stupid. Yeah.
I'd have gone to Yoda and called the Masters, tasked out the stuff. Oh, yeah. No.
Special alien worm cannot sense.
So, episode 3, there is an explanation for why they can't just sick Yoda on not Count Dooku, on Darth Sidious immediately. Because it's like, they kind of have their suspicions. It's like, oh yeah, Sidious is getting a bunch of power, in the Sith. He's like becoming a bit too strong. They do quickly mention that it's like, oh yeah, Darth Sidious is like, getting to be kind of like a problem. What if he doesn't give up his emergency war powers and he just decides to become a dictator? And they all just look around and they're like, well, we should probably make sure that the Jedi take over the council, and then we can like ease the powers to the next person, to make sure that there's like a peaceful transfer of power. And like immediately I feel like anyone from the outside would be like, wouldn't that just look incredibly fucking suspicious? Wouldn't that just look like you're trying to do a big power grab, and it'd be like a huge like dictator thing that people would be like, what's going on here?
But no, they're trying to do it to stop the actual bad guy.
Yeah, so Anar changed the fan and cuts the bit out where Yoda's like, oh yeah, we should try and like do a peaceful transfer of power or whatever. It's like, no, they're like, oh yeah, Palpatine's getting too much power. Like, hopefully he gives that up. That's gonna be a bit of a problem if he doesn't. And they just sort of like, move on to the next scene.
Yoda, kill this man.
Unironically, dude, it's so wild that this is the movie where Yoda kills people. Unironically. Yoda stabs so many clone troopers when they turn against the Jedi.
Hey, if they're enemies, then they gotta die, right?
Yeah.
I know that there's like a whole thing. It's like they don't kill for like revenge or out of anger or something, but it's like, well, they're the bad guys. They have to die.
Like, it makes sense in universe because it's like, oh yeah, armed men with guns are trying to shoot you, but it's also like so surreal to see Yoda just jump up on a dude and stab him through the chest.
Heck yeah. I don't know why, but I love the idea of like just the little alien dude flipping around like a maniac, just like cutting things down.
Is that why you're going to play a dwarf for Baldur's Gate 3 and go monk?
Nah, I'm not gonna play the dwarf. I'm gonna go with my other character.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure.
Although that character is a gnome. Although he's not going to be flipping around doing stuff.
You can always be flipping around doing stuff. Like, specific knowledge that Anakin should know and tell the Master the info this morning to Palpatine kick Anakin out of the order. Oh, man, maybe. Yeah.
I always thought the Jedi were a little too uptight. Because it's just if you know they're evil, and it's like, oh, but he hasn't done anything. He's going to do something. You know he's going to do something.
I'd straight up, I'll say just straight up, there's a point in this movie where it's like, alright, they learn who, like, Darth Sidious is, and they're like, okay, Palpatine's the bad guy, got it. They send in, like, 5 Jedi Masters to, like, just literally fight him, and, when he doesn't come quietly, freaking Mace Windu just, like, sword fights him to the point where he, like, knocks him down, and he is straight up like, okay, I will execute this man right here on the spot.
Okay.
He's straight up like, yeah, no, I am going to kill you. He is too powerful to have a fair trial. This isn't gonna work. And Anakin literally stops him because Sidious, like, knows how to, like, stop people from dying and force them to stay alive or whatever. And he's like, oh god, no, don't do that. I need him to save my wife.
And then
that's
the problem
like,
gets solved by him ignoring him and cutting him down.
Yeah. Well, he tries to calm down, and Anakin literally, like, gets in the way and stops him. Like, he blocks his attack.
Dang.
Anakin literally stops him and, like, knocks him aside just long enough for Palpatine to yell, "Unlimited power!" and, like, shoot lightning at him and, like, murder Mace Windu. He just screams unlimited power and then blasts him with lightning so hard he flies out the window on, like, the 500th floor of the building and dies.
What happened to the other Jedi Masters that were sent to kill him?
Oh, he just murders all of them in, like, one go immediately.
So Mace Windu and Anakin are the only ones who had any fighting prowess.
Yeah. Like, there's, like, 5 dudes that come after him, and he literally just pulls out a lightsaber, does this goofy, like, spinning, like, flying forward drill move with it. Like, immediately he just starts cutting dudes down left and right. Gets, like, freaking Kit Fisto in one. Kit Fisto just goes down and immediately just dies, basically, like, as a background character. Just murders everyone but Mace Windu. It's like Windu manages to beat him, and Anakin shows up in time to save him.
Dang.
Oh, man.
So I mean, I guess all of this might have been pretty wild for anyone who did, like, anyone who's following the story, and it's just like, oh yeah, Anakin's, like, getting more and more unhinged as the series goes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I guess because we have the benefit of hindsight, and it's like, oh yeah, Darth Vader, whatever, but they didn't back then. So all of this must have actually been pretty entertaining.
Well, actually people knew, but it's like, it wasn't like, like, oh yeah, this kid's gonna be Darth Vader, It's like, oh yeah, this kid has, like, the same name as, like, the guy who Darth Vader is that we know. Like, he's named Skywalker, and we know, like, freaking Luke's dad is Skywalker Darth Vader.
I always forget that Star Wars did, like, some stupid, like, reverse order thing.
Yeah, because they did the story, and they're like, but what if we did the origin story of everything, and it kind of sucked, and it's like, well, at least you tried.
I see. The first one was the big thing, and then it's like, oh, hey, people like this, so then we gotta make more money off it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the first movie, honestly, is like, for what it's worth,
it's
like,
fine on its own.
Yeah, it's like, it's open-ended enough that it doesn't feel like weird is like a trilogy, but very much is like a self-contained thing. It's like, oh yeah, evil space empire. And it's like, hey, there's this evil guy in a helmet, we, like, beat him in a space dogfight, It's like he doesn't literally die on screen, but they, like, one-up him and they blow up the Death Star. And it's like, okay, yeah, we beat their super weapon, we, like, beat back the Empire. It's like, we didn't really resolve everything, but it's a point where it's like, okay, if it just ended here, it's like, yeah, no one would really complain about it.
Maybe
like, yeah.
Maybe I should just watch the first one and then never watch any other Star Wars thing ever again.
Honestly, I just go 4, 5, and 6 because, like, the original trilogy is legitimately good. Like, episode 4 is just a solid, like, good standalone movie with a lot of, like, good classic, like, movie acting and stuff, you know?
Mm.
It's like you're watching a party of just fun characters try to, like, deal with crazy bull crap, and they're just kind of trying to make stuff work. Like, a lot of episode 4, from what I remember, is they get, like, stuck on the Death Star, and what happens is basically, like, it's that D&D session where everyone has to, like, sneak around and infiltrate the enemy base, and no one really knows what they're doing, and they're just trying to, like, figure out a way out of it, as they're just seeing these, fun little, like, quirks and gimmicks of the Empire and stuff, and, they're having to, like, go in disguise and, like, escape the trash compactor, and, there's, like, alien creatures just crawling around trying to, like, attack them and stuff like that. It's like, it's a bunch of, like, really fun, like, character and scenario stuff, just, and it's like, oh yeah, also a super weapon, and here's the plot, and they do the thing and beat it.
Mm.
Honestly, still holds up surprisingly well outside of, like, the lightsaber combat being, like, really stiff to the point of being, like, non-existent. Because, yeah, the fun thing is that back in the day when that was filmed in, like, something like the 70s or whatever the crap, it's like, of course they didn't have CG, so from what I understand, they would have, like, literal, like, glowing, like, fluorescent tubes of light on, like, a little handle, and that was the prop, and they would just, like, paint the tube out after the fact. So it would just be like, no, I don't think they had, like, glowed. I think it was just, like, a fluorescent tube, and they, like, add the glow afterwards. Yeah. So it'd, like, paint the tube out, and people would have to, like, swing glass tubes at each other very, very carefully to make sure that they didn't break anything. And you also have to account for the fact that one of the guys is, like, in a really goofy outfit with a helmet, and they can, like, barely see where they're going, and they're, like, trying to, like, keep from stumbling around set in their goofy giant boots and stuff. It's like, it's very obvious they're being extremely careful with it,
Yeah.
It's really endearing once you know what's going on, but it's really funny to look back on. And Cassio help Padme, they arrest or kill Padme. Anakin cures Padme, Anakin gets kicked and can't use the Force ever, and Luke gets laid. And Luke and Leia get into the Jedi Order on behalf of Obi-Wan. Yeah, if there's, like, no whole thing with Anakin and the Jedi Order doesn't go down, the Empire would be so screwed. Oh man, there's a lot of dumb, like, what-if scenarios. But yeah, jumping around a little bit, or rather jump around a little bit. Quick notice that the fan art, like, cuts out a lot of little stuff that's just, like, either goofy or doesn't really matter. But what it does do that I'm kind of split on is that it adds what seems to be, like, a deleted plot line through a series of what seem to be, like, deleted or expanded scenes. I don't know. They're, like, scenes I've never seen before, where it's like Padme being up with the Senate members, a little, like, group in private, and being like, oh yeah, Palpatine's getting so much power, let's, like, really think about what political action we have against him, and really, like, talk this out to sell the threat that Palpatine is, because it's like, yeah, he's becoming, like, too politically, like, strong, he's gonna be a dictator, and they're just straight up addressed, like, yeah, this is, like, the rise of fascism. He's gonna take over. So it's like, that was interesting, because it's like, the fans basically like, oh yeah, Palpatine is something to do now, outside of just be the love interest who gets pregnant and then just dies horribly. But yeah. There's a quick
Yeah.
thing where it's like freaking Yoda has to leave because he has to like help the Wookiees fight off the Separatists. And it's basically like useless, but it's an excuse for like why Yoda's not there to arrest Palpatine. And you get a bunch of fun little action scenes where he's like taking down robots, and it gets to like Yoda gets to unironically just meet Chewbacca and help him out. Honestly,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know much about Yoda. I just know he's really strong. Like I mean, he's not a Jedi Master for nothing. But
Oh yeah.
it's like, yeah, if you have somebody as strong as Yoda, you have to take him out of the main action.
Yeah. Yoda is pretty much exactly he's like fast, powerful, wise Jedi Master guy, and he's quirky old man who flips around and does things. And he's like,
Yeah.
Troubling times these are. Hmm. Murder a bunch of kids, Anakin did. Very distressed I am.
And then does he ever like confront Anakin directly about that? No, because Anakin runs off immediately after that, right?
Yeah.
Why don't they send Yoda to go deal with him?
Because they send Obi-Wan. Actually, there's an explanation. Because Yoda has to deal with like Palpatine.
Fair enough.
It's like, this is our one chance to take out the Sith Lord, now that he's like done giving a speech, like after hours. So it's like, hey, we've got Malone, he doesn't have any of his guards. Hey, Yoda, can you deal with him? And he goes to fight him, and it's like, it's basically a standstill, which is kind of funny. Yoda's pacifized. Yeah, in the afterlife, right? Oh, yeah. But it's like, yeah, for what it's worth, Obi-Wan gets the job done. He's like confident, he's like a war hero and stuff. It's like, yeah, Obi-Wan's got this.
Yeah.
Well, he's mostly got this.
He should have made sure to 100% dunk Anakin in the lava.
Yeah. It's fine, he had the high ground. Listen, I would not expect someone burning to death to be able to survive, like, in a random volcano on an offshoot planet in the middle of nowhere either.
Yeah, but I would have made sure to finish the job, I think.
Oh, man.
If for nothing else, to not leave it, like, I don't know, it seems weird that a Jedi would leave someone to suffer in pain until they die.
Yeah, like I assume the like logic is like, oh yeah, he's like really upset seeing his friend be this like monstrous, and he's like, I can't even face him. But it's like, yeah, you could just like, yeah, give him
Lightsaber
like a
through the head. Done.
Yeah, give him like a mercy death. Don't let him just burn to death in the lava.
Yeah, the lava. I'd just put the lightsaber through the head. At least it would be instant,
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, it's never really made sense, but sure, why not? Like, you have to Darth Vader somehow.
Yeah, but then considering they wrote the fight after the fact, they could have made it so that him surviving made more, whatever.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's tons of ways they probably could have handled this differently. Like, they could have had, like, for example, had, like, like, freaking Obi-Wan just gets a call from like Yoda or whatever, or maybe he's like, he like is like, oh yeah, I need to make sure Padme's all right because she gets hurt before this, and that's why he's like, okay, yeah, no, there's more important things here. Like, there's changes they could have made.
Yeah, or heck, just write it into the scene as is, and just like Palpatine had guys with Anakin, and they show up and they like throw a flash grenade or something, and then grab him and leave.
Yeah, have be like Palpatine's watching in the background, and like, Obi-Wan sees Palpatine and he just starts shooting lightning, and he's like, crap, and he's like forced to retreat because of the stormtroopers, and maybe gives like a sad glance at like Anakin as he's going, and like the troopers are like surrounding him or something, and he's like, there's no way, I have to go. Like, there's ways they could have made this work. But yeah, holy crap, we're not halfway through this.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, they do it. It's like, I should mention there's a really fun line that unfortunately the fan sub cuts out because it like, so opening action scene, right? So
Hmm.
it's like as normally happens is like, oh yeah, I get like, they're like held at gunpoint by droids, they get Avid, the whole like thing. They like beat Dooku, they're like growing around. And like as they're trying to escape, like a force field just like shows up around them and just traps them. And then Grievous like shows up. He's like, "Oh, General Kenobi!" And it's like that's how they get like held prisoner, and he takes their lightsabers and stuff.
Hmm.
There's like a fun little line where they get captured in the force field, and immediately Palpatine's like, well, "How did this happen? We're smarter than this." And Obi-Wan's just like, "Oh, apparently not." But yeah, and they like, steal one of the lightsabers from Grievous's collection and escape and all that stuff. It's a fun little thing. And it's like in the fan they change it. So instead it's like, okay, they're like they escape from Dooku, they like kill him and stuff, and they're like, going around and they get held at gunpoint by the droids, and it just cuts to them being like, captured by Grievous. Cause yeah, of course, that makes sense. Why would they to be like, basically captured twice?
Yeah.
But yeah, so crap's going on. Anakin gets appointed to the Jedi Council, and it's like, oh yeah, Anakin, we're finally making you like a member of the council on like Palpatine's behalf. But we're not making you a Jedi Master. And Anakin's just like, what? That's not fair. What do you mean I'm not a master? That doesn't make sense. And they're like, Anakin, shut up. Deal with it. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was out of line of me. It's a great honor." And he just takes his seat, and afterwards he just goes to Obi-Wan, and he's like, "I'm so mad, bro. How could they not make me a master?" And Obi-Wan's like, "Anakin, please shut up. Deal with it."
Man, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep really is just Star Wars, huh?
It really is just kind of Star Wars. It's like Terra literally is just Anakin, but done better.
But Terra's not actually evil, though. He's just stupid.
Yeah, it's like Terra's less evil and more gullible. Anakin just makes the worst, like, renegade path decision at every opportunity. Anakin just be glad you didn't get kicked out of the order. Yeah. Terra's just a goofball, and freaking Aqua's just going around being the mom that has to keep her two kids in order.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're all three kind of incompetent to some degree. Otherwise, the events of Birth by Sleep couldn't have happened.
We have to go find Terra, and she finds him, and he runs off, and she stumbles across Ventus, and she's like, "Hey, Ventus, don't do anything stupid." And Ventus is like, "I don't care, you're not my real mom," and he runs off, and she's like, "God damn it."
Yeah, my evil doppelganger told me I should go after Terra, and so I did.
Or 358 over 3 days on the TS, yeah. Oh god, you think it was like they did it like that because it's like this will make people think it's Kingdom Hearts 3?
No,
you think that was part of the logic?
No, because no, because they would have just dropped Kingdom Hearts 3.
It was 0.2. Yeah, play the heck out of that game. Yeah, it's like 0.2 of Fragmentary Passage, the one where we learn why Mickey doesn't have a shirt in Kingdom Hearts 1, and that's the big takeaway from the entire experience.
Yeah, the revelation that Mickey got attacked by a tide of darkness, which is just a crapload of shadows all fused together, and they attacked him and knocked his shirt off. But also the fact that Mickey left Aqua in the realm of darkness for like 10 years without going to try to save her.
Yeah. Oh
people
man.
people people were reasonably upset with Mickey knowing that he knew she was there that whole time and didn't try to rescue her.
Honest question, does Mickey even have Keyblade armor?
I mean, he could. It's
He
Mickey
should,
Mouse.
right?
He's got
Yeah.
he's got the Disney treatment. I'm sure he's about as Keyblade
Yeah,
master as he could be.
when is the point? Like, why isn't Mickey just going in and he's like, I need Keyblade armor so I can just go through the world of darkness and save Aqua?
Because Mickey has even back when he was like Magician's Apprentice Mickey, he had the Wayfinder thing, which like let him travel through darkness.
Yeah, but you could have that and also get armor so you could, like, know where you're going.
Well, back then he wasn't a Keyblade master, but yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I guess if he's not a master, it's like, after like 5 years or so, it's like, all right, she's probably gone. Yeah,
I
he
get the
just assumed she
impression
was dead.
I get the impression that Mickey is literally Disney itself, so he gets like special treatment and he can just magic himself between worlds.
Oh yeah, straight up. Like, the Wayfinder just takes him to a random location. Doesn't take him where he wants to go, it takes him where he needs to be. I think that's the
Yeah.
actual wording.
Yeah, unless he learns to like control it later, but yeah, that's definitely what it was doing in Birth by Sleep.
Yes, RNG between locations, and because of the nature of the plot, you show up where people in need are, and he just does it off screen.
Yeah. Also, as far as talking about Yoda is concerned, Mickey's just Yoda.
Yeah, we should just assume that a world that doesn't show up is a world Mickey has visited and helped out, and that's what he's doing during the games. Mickey is probably going to the Star Wars universe to help them kill Anakin.
I mean, that could happen now.
It makes enough sense, I think. Marvel universe? Yeah, Mickey's probably there. Encanto? Sure, why not? It's been to the Naruto universe too? Yeah, why the fuck not? Aired on Disney XD. Mickey is busy fighting the Ten Tails.
That's the kind of the difference though, is that Disney doesn't own Naruto. They just aired it on their channel.
I don't care. It is canon in my head now that the reason Mickey didn't help with like the Land of Dragons is because he was busy helping with the Infinite Tsukiyomi.
Sure.
Listen, Mickey was there to give Sasuke the speech about how, like, when you're all alone, friends are all you got, you gotta listen to your friends. If you don't, that's just the path to darkness.
Don't say the door to darkness?
3. Yeah. Sasuke's just becoming a Heartless. He gets like the yellow eyes, but it's also the Sharingan.
I don't want to think about Naruto and Kingdom Hearts. Naruto already works me up into a frenzy.
Oh god. There's like a whole dumb thing on Twitter where people are like going after like, Boruto for having bad artwork, and you look at it, it's like, this don't look great, but this looks fine. And it's like, oh yeah, this is a monthly series. And it's like, okay, yeah, no, that's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that it looks this lackluster then. And people are like pulling out panels from the original series, and you just go back and it's like, yeah, see how you want? Kishimoto knew how to draw. Kishimoto knew how to draw some cool looking crap. One of the best characters who knew everything died to cough. Oh man.
Who?
Died to a something. Died to
it.
Died to it. You mean the Heartless?
Sorry, yeah, I'm lost. What?
Yeah, I think it means the Heartless. We are so off topic. Holy crap. This is why we didn't like do this last week when we were gonna start late, because I knew this was just gonna go.
Also, I was like dead tired.
Oh yeah, I was also pretty dead tired. And so
Naruto-san
Naruto-san
died due
died
to a
due to a
cough.
cough.
Who's
I
that?
I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it. Okay, I believe you. How there is an episode where like Son gives Naruto a weird thing about like, oh yeah, if you eat too many like ramen noodles, they'll have to like give you a shot for it or something. And Naruto leaves and comes back, and people think he's been infected with like a contagious disease. So instead of actually talking to him about it, Naruto just walks into the leaf, and all his friends and like loved ones are trying to sneak attack, inject him with fucking syringes. Like, no one explains what it's about. No one explains what the deal is. Naruto just looks over, and like freaking like Rock Lee and Shikamaru and Shino are trying to throw syringes at him, and he's like, oh god, they must have been replaced with someone. Like, these must be clones or something, like trying to kill me.
Obviously, they're trying to hit me with the AIDS needles.
Obviously, they're trying to infect me with the Rona. Oh, man.
But yeah, Star Wars.
I feel like anyone who just randomly comes at you with a syringe without any explanation, you are very justified to not want to be injected.
Yeah.
There could be anything in there.
Yeah, if Naruto pulled out the Rasengan and like killed one of his friends over it, it's like I don't blame him.
I honestly, the goofy thing is I don't think the Rasengan has ever killed anyone.
Oh man, it's the freaking spirit bomb. Except
Yeah,
for the one person it killed.
Yeah, it sends them all flying and like spinning around, so it just knocks them out. But the Rasen Shuriken, oh yeah, that'll fuck you up for sure. That's the goofy thing, because the Rasengan is like fairly non-lethal, and the Rasen Shuriken like literally rips you apart at a cellular level.
Right. When I say Rasengan, I typically mean the Rasengan in any variant of it.
Yeah. Naruto
including
could
that crazy.
Yeah.
It's like that crazy Rasen Sharingan thing he does when he gets like the god powers, where he sends the orbs with it and it like explodes or something. Where it just, the power scaling is just ridiculous.
The one where he like forms one Rasen Shuriken from like positive chakra and one from negative chakra, so that when they collide, they like just immediately have like an antimatter explosion.
Oh, that's how that works? Sheesh. I just know it as that move in the Ultimate Ninja Storm game.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Cause I know he does it at some point, if nothing else. Cause that's like how the whole thing with like, the Biju bomb works, right? Like the big Nine Tails laser. It's like you form a ball of positive and negative energy, and they just like violently erupt out and destroy everything in their path.
Sick.
Naruto is the story of a man who found a non-lethal technique, and he specialized it so hard he made it the most lethal thing to ever exist. Oh man, the Rasen technique is like the Rasen base can do some damage, like twist your organs and misplace them. Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, crap, where were we in Star Wars? Right, yeah. The freaking like Anakin gets on the council and he's like, I'm so bad. And Obi-Wan's like, oh yeah, I've gotta go fight Grievous. And he goes and he like he has a good fight scene with Grievous where, Grievous does the like thing where his forearms and he's like spinning his robot hands around and doing cool stuff with it, They have a whole like chase scene. I like the detail that it's like Grievous is these little like, like spear-wielding anti-Jedi droids that can like fight lightsaber users with their weapons. And it's like there are points where people just decapitate these things and they keep fighting because they're robots. So that's pretty fun. Explaining how Anakin survived getting cooked in random lava. Oh yeah, that too.
Oh
Yeah. Yeah, when Dooku was sorry, not Dooku, when Palpatine was like, oh yeah, freaking like, yeah, dark side force users can just survive whatever and they can fight off death, he wasn't kidding. I'm pretty sure, like, in the current continuity, the freaking CG cartoon is still canon, which means that it is also still 100% canon that, like, Darth Maul survived being cut in half and he just comes back with robot legs. Freaking Siths are durable mother effers. Conk
crazy
is
how
also
much
canon.
crazy how much more powerful evil Jedi or Sith are.
Yeah, because that's the trade-off, right? It's like you go evil for power, but then it's like, oh, because you've like gone evil and you've like acquired power, you've like, put morality to the side and stuff, and oh, now you're all betraying each other because you're just in it for the power. It's like it's like, oh yeah, evil is easy, being a moral good guy is hard, but that also means evil has power because that's what tempts you to be evil.
Yeah.
I can't wait until we play Baldur's Gate and one of us has to be the villain that takes all the mind flare bullcrap. Oh man. But yeah, so it's like Obi-Wan has a whole like fight scene with Grievous where he chases him down in a big wheel robot on like a fucking lizard alien, and he like loses his lightsabers, so he has to fight him like unarmed. Which honestly, it's a pretty fun scene where it's like freaking Grievous is just in a fist fight with a Jedi, and Obi-Wan tries to like kick him in the leg and just hurts himself because he is a fucking robot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like Grievous has the upper hand so hard, and then Obi-Wan manages to like force grab a random blaster and just shoots him to death. Like he blasts him in the organ jar until he just like he blasts him in the organ so hard that like fire explodes out of his eyes and he just falls over. Grievous gets it rough, man. Sith Anakin's also canon. Yeah, if I can come back, I'd be down for that. Yeah. I call being the guy who gives you haste and guidance and just lets you go, Anakin. Yeah, honestly, that'd be like, I did kick around the idea of playing like a bard. I might go for that. Cause like, I like doing damage, but the idea of being like the buff guy who just makes everyone strong just sounds really fun as well.
Yeah.
Just be
I'm
here,
bad.
have haste.
I'm bad about that though, because I'll take a thing that buffs party members and just forget to do it in favor of just shooting the bad guys.
The all-around perk for bard slaps. That's why I call tips on that. Oh man, cleric is fire for free. Yeah.
Yeah. So for what we're talking about, we're gonna do a Baldur's Gate 3 stream on like starting next Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, hopefully. Assuming we can get everything in order, which we should be able to, honestly. It shouldn't be a problem, yeah.
Yeah, and I've got the character I want to play. I already know what I want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
God, I'm so like, I really want to be a necro dancer and just be like lore bard, and then I get raised undead, and I'm just the scumbag who doesn't fight on his own and makes our people fight for me. But it's also like, man, I don't know if I like the spells I'd have to like live with up until that point. And I was looking into it, it's like, oh yeah, animate dead only gives you one if you're like non-necromancer, and it's like, that's a bit lame.
Yeah.
I guess haste is still good, but no, I'd want more than that.
Yeah, I've taken like haste and enlarge, reduce on Gale, but then I just never like the idea
Yeah.
is to like make Lae'zel like enlarged, and then she just beats everything to death. But I just always forget to do it.
You'll see her turn to a giant woman.
or Karlach.
Yeah. Honestly, Karlach would be a good pick for that. Nah, Karlach, yeah, so we do need a mage. Yeah. Freaking like it's like what's his name? Ultra Magnus from like Disgaea 6 or whatever.
Oh, Red Magnus.
Red Magnus, yeah, from Disgaea. No, it's Disgaea 5, yeah.
5. Yeah,
yeah, he just like
Red
just
Magnus
a
is pretty
demon dude
great.
that just goes huge and just smashes people.
Yeah, and his gimmick is that he just keeps getting powers that make him bigger.
I love it.
Yeah, Red Magnus is pretty great.
Yeah, that goes Bard's an all-rounder. Oh yeah, he has good everything. But yeah, Star Wars. So it's like Obi-Wan's this whole fight, like murders the crap out of Grievous. And it's like that's the excuse for why he's away while like Anakin's doing things. And while they're gone, we get a scene, easily the best scene in the movie, probably the best scene in the prequel, straight up, where it's like a blaster to the stomach back. Yeah, the freaking organ jar. But yeah, I get a scene where it's like Anakin just goes to the opera, and it's like, you know, he hangs out with Palpatine, right?
Sure.
Yeah, because, you know, that's, yeah.
It's such a weird direction to go that I feel like I zoned out for a second.
Yeah, there's a whole thing in the background where it's like, oh yeah, Anakin's close to Palpatine, and Palpatine's obviously like using him and stuff because he wants him to be a Sith. But Anakin's like, yeah, you know, Palpatine's a cool guy. You know, he's got some good ideas. You know, he likes fascism. Yeah, no, he's got some like good stuff. And you know, Obi-Wan's like, wait, what'd you say, Anakin? What was that second part?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think he's got some neat ideas.
Yeah. But yeah, Anakin's just hang out with Palpatine. Palpatine, like, yo. Yeah, that's another thing. I forget if it's in the original or the fan art, but it's like, I know in the fan, it's like, there's a quick thing where Palpatine's like, oh yeah, I'll like pull some strings for you, get you on the council, Anakin, don't worry. And that implies, like, you know, that's why they're so weird about it. I don't know if it's like a deleted scene or what, I forget completely, but it's like, yeah, okay, they were like politically like pushed into this, and they're like, okay, well, we don't respect the decision, but we'll play along. But yeah, they like go to the opera, and yo, Palpatine tells Anakin a very interesting story, cause yo, they're just kind of chilling out, and yo, Palpatine's like, oh yeah, the Jedi like told you to spy on me, haven't they? And Anakin's like, is it that obvious? And he's like, yeah, you know, what's bothering you, man? You know, what's going on there, my bro? Yeah, and Anakin's like, just sort of opens up to him, and he's like, I've just, you know, been worried about, you know, people around me being in danger and all this stuff, and, you know, I don't know what to do about things. And, like, in probably one of those clever bits of writing in the series, Palpatine just responds in this anecdote where he's like, yo, that reminds me of this interesting story I heard about this old Sith legend. You know, you wouldn't hear this stuff from a Jedi. It's only the Sith that really talk about these types of things. You know, you gotta know Nod from, like, all these sources, right? And he just, you know, tells the tale of Darth Tyrannus, who was a Sith so powerful and so smart and wise and just goated and stuff that he could even keep the people around him from, like, dying, and could, like, you know, force them to stay alive past their time, basically. And it's like, playing this sinister music, and it's implied this is like a really like, like unnatural, like weird process. And like immediately Anakin's interested. He's like, oh yeah, so the Sith can just do that. And he's like, yeah, what happened to this guy? And Palpatine's like, oh yeah, that's the thing, he was like, so powerful that like, the only one who could like actually like kill him was his own apprentice, who just murdered him in his sleep and then just disappeared forever. And you just look at that and you just think for a second. It's like, it's not confirmed, but Palpatine is a Sith. How the fuck would he know this? Was Palpatine the apprentice? Is this his origin story?
I mean, it could also just be that like he says, the Sith actually passed down these tales or whatever.
Yeah, it's ambiguous enough that might not be that, but it's like, no, it's got an interesting vibe to it. It's like, maybe that is what's going on. I feel like that would make a lot of sense, right? Like, contextually with everything, to be like, oh yeah, wait, no, it wasn't Darth Trance, it was like Darth Plagueis. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, got the name wrong, but yeah. I just run towards the giant or telling them to just roll up on. Yeah, it's like, listen, all he's doing is just, reading Mein Kampf. There's no proof he's evil yet. we don't know for sure. Yeah, it's just like interested in knowledge, right? That's not a crime.
Yeah, he just wants to read.
Yeah. Just wants to learn about the origins of like Sith powers. Yeah, it happens. Oh man, but yeah, you like very subtly just kind of introduces the idea of like, oh yeah, the Sith have these powers and they do this crazy stuff, And it's like, at this point, it's like, okay, he totally knows what's worrying Anakin, and he's like using this to try and like, lead him in that direction, kind of like, like kind of subtly convince him and make him like open up about things. It's all like really like, clever, and it's like really well played, because there's not a point where Anakin is just like, oh, so Sith are more powerful, huh? Isn't that interesting,
Yeah.
Yeah, they let it play out and just, speak for itself. Yeah.
Let the viewer draw their own conclusions.
Yeah, exactly. We're like accomplishing multiple things at once in a like really neat, engaging bit of world building. But yeah, so they like, kind of keep going, and Obi-Wan does his thing. We cut back, and it's like Anakin's just talking with Palpatine, and Palpatine's like, oh yeah, yeah, I could, like, teach you how, like, save your wife. Yeah, you could probably, like, do some stuff. And Anakin just stops and he's like, wait a second. Wait, if the Sith know how to revive people, and he's telling me there's a way to, how to do the thing, you see, like, the dots forming, it's like the equations flying past him.
What if I turn evil?
Yeah. Well, this is the point where Anakin like draws his lightsaber. He's like, "Wait, you're a Sith? Wait, you're evil?"
It's like, yeah, idiot.
Yeah. Jedi could do that too. It's just they think it's too easy to do. Oh man, Jedi can like, that's the thing, Jedi can heal people. I feel like, that has limitations, right? Because it's like, this is one of the weird things I hear a lot, is that it's like, I feel like there's a meme going around where it's like, oh yeah, why don't the Jedi just like force heal Palpatine so she doesn't die in childbirth? And I'm just like, wait, well, I don't think it's like that. What part of like the body do you force heal to, like, It's like childbirth is complicated, and it's like people are like dying from strain and exertion, and there's like internal ruptures. It's like, yeah, I feel like you might have to know what the cause is before that works, right? It seems like it's a bit specific. No, that just makes sense to me though. I feel like that's like, probably an honestly fair enough explanation. But yeah, so he like goes and he's like, oh, but you're the Sith, you're the one everyone's looking for. And Palpatine's like, oh, hey, you finally figured it out. But yeah, Palpatine's just like, oh yeah, hey, join me, Anakin. I can give you all this like power and stuff. And Anakin's like, no, I need you to like, face judgment. I have to like tell people about this. And he's like, okay, whatever, the choice is yours. Anakin didn't choose her, she'd be alive. If Anakin didn't choke her, she'd be alive afterwards. Maybe. Because we do get a weird line where it's like, oh, Palpatine's dying because she, like, gave up the will to live, but she's, like, physically fine. So I guess she's just dying via depression. Because Star Wars. But yeah, we like... I'll get to that in a second, oh boy. But yeah, so we like, have a whole thing where it's like... Anakin goes to council, he's like, oh yeah, hey, Pat freaking, like, Palpatine, he's an evil wizard. And, they're like, okay, well, we have to take care of this right now. So they have like 5 giant masters after him. He like kills basically all of them, fights Mace Windu. There's a cool shot I want to point out where it's like Mace Windu has like his lightsaber in both hands, and Palpatine's kind of doing like a similar stance, and you like kind of like size each other up for a bit as they're walking around. It's like a very like samurai film shot, like very Kurosawa, and Palpatine just starts like flipping around like a cartoon character, and it ruins it completely. Anakin didn't choose her. Yeah, all this could be avoided if Qui-Gon didn't die. If only Qui-Gon was here to save us. Oh man, if only Qui-Gon had the high ground, he could have lived. Oh man, but yeah, so it's like they have the whole thing, I bunches before they like attack Palpatine, like freaking like Anakin shows up as Mace Windu's gonna murder him, and Palpatine's just like putting on his big act that the fan cuts out where he's like, oh, don't hurt me, I'm just a frail old man, I can't do anything. And he's like, oh, look, it's like I said, the jar good, they're gonna take power and they're evil and stuff.
They're gonna take the ability for you to bring your loved one back to life from you.
They're gonna stop me from saving your wife, Anakin. They're so evil. Yeah, and like freaking Mace is gonna kill him, and Anakin's like, no, don't! I need him! Just like, they like, boom, freaking unlimited power!
Just does it again.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just like saying it for the sake of it.
Oh.
Just because it's really funny. They just screams it out of nowhere. He just screams power, unlimited power. Like kills a dude. And he just gets up and he's all like disfigured and monster-like now. Like he looks like a fucking ghoul. And it's like, yeah, I guess using the dark side just got rid of whatever like force magic he was using to not look like, a monster.
Using the evil powers makes you look like a freak, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Using evil powers makes you look more evil physically. And like
Which
starts, yeah.
I don't know. I can get behind that idea.
Yeah, that makes enough like intuitive sense. They should have just filled the beans that the Jedi can do that too. They could have joined in like on shish kebabbing Palpatine.
Yeah, it's like, oh, the Jedi can do that too, and then Anakin just like flip sides back to the good guys, and he's like, all right, now help me like do the thing, and it's like, oh, I didn't say we do it.
Oh, it's like, yeah, well, who do you need healed? And Anakin's like, yeah, my wife's gonna die in childbirth. And he's like, you have a wife? That's not allowed.
Well, anyways,
maybe that's the explanation.
Palpatine's dead. Everything else is secondary now.
Yeah, I'm sure glad we didn't support the rise of fascism and have to fight an evil dictatorship for like 9 movies. Yeah, I'd still do it. Just Anakin be kicked. Oh man, that's the real kicker. Because if Anakin didn't like turn evil, then then freaking Padme wouldn't give up on life. So there'd be like no need to heal her. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's meant to be really like tragic and Shakespearean, but then you think about it for 2 seconds and it's just really kind of dumb. Because it's not like she has like a disease or something, or like something where it's like, okay, you need dark side powers for this specifically. Like, you know, it's like it's the result of his own actions at the end of the day, like literally.
Right.
Kind of like in One Piece on some parts. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I feel like my immediate comparison would be Attack on Titan for like spoiler reasons. Because boy, that's like crazy and like, yeah. I am basically caught up. I'm at Egghead, and Lucky hasn't seen One Piece, but he doesn't care.
I do not care about One Piece.
I've told Lucky so much dumb bullcrap about like, stuff like the time is that like a freaking like mammoth devil fruit user tried to fight a giant like island-sized elephant, and it just smashed his boat apart immediately and just sunk him into the bottom of the ocean. But because he was a fish man, he just survived. Ace, Ace, yeah.
My takeaway from One Piece is that Whitebeard is cool.
Yeah. Ace died because someone was like, oh yeah, hey, Whitebeard's a pussy, and he's like, oh, you take that back, I'll kill you, and he like ran back to fight an admiral. You know what? Fair enough, though. I would also hate it if someone insulted Whitebeard. Oh, man. Ace is just too reckless for his own good, and then Luffy gets, like, so, Luffy, like, makes one of his attacks hit with fire as, like, a tribute to him.
Wait, Luffy can just do that?
Oh yeah, because it's like One Piece, so like techniques can just kind of be whatever. So there's a point where Luffy learns to punch so hard his fist ignites.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Like, there is a point where, like, Sanji develops a technique where he just spins on one leg so fast that, like, the friction lights his leg on fire, and his leg becomes so red hot it can melt through iron. But it doesn't hurt him because, and I quote, according to Oda, the flames on his leg burn hot, but his heart burns hotter.
I can't complain about that. There's an ability in Sonic Battle, Emerald's ultimate punch skill, where he punches so hard he ignites the nitrogen in the air.
Yeah, like characters in One Piece just like break the laws of physics by doing martial arts, and it's great. There's a point where you learn that there are people who can just like, they've mastered a technique that lets them like jump so hard they can basically like double jump because they push off of the air.
I mean, if you were to double jump, that's how it would work, right?
Yeah. And they're just able to like, just like zip around the sky and stuff. And they've like developed techniques where they basically like, you know, like they kick the ground so fast multiple times a second that they basically flash step. But it's like the trade-off is that it's like while you're flash stepping, you're moving so fast that you can't see where you're going. So you have to like stop to attack, you know? So it's like the whole anime thing where they like teleport behind you and then do the thing, right?
Yeah. I still love that
Yeah.
stupid bit in Bleach where two guys just keep flash stepping behind each other.
God, Bleach is like the ramblings of a madman, and I kind of both hate and love it because of that. God, I know I've definitely talked about the fight with the giant nerve baby in the sentient hand.
Yes.
I've definitely talked about that a lot. And the fight where it's... I saw a post where it's something like, oh yeah, the Bleach anime has finally reached the episode where the freaking, like, trans Nazi girl gets accused of smelling like semen by the transphobic feudal samurai femboy.
I saw people talking about that on Twitter.
Man, Bleach is just built different. Holy crap, yeah. The fact that the foul, like, enemies are literally, like, just freaking, like, stern ritters. It's like, oh yeah, they're just German-themed Nazi characters that are based off of various letters. It's like, oh, alright. Sure, why not? Died while I heard it dubbed. Oh god. Ah, man. I should probably actually check out that arc. Because it's like, seeing it animated, like, first off, the anime actually does look like it's pretty solidly animated and stuff. It actually does visually look good. But also, those fights are so stupid and insane that it kind of loops around, you know?
Yeah, I've always liked Bleach. I like its premise. It's just,
yeah,
I don't know.
It's
At
just
some
not
point,
good.
yeah, it's like I like the whole, like, everyone's like a samurai in some way, except that some of them have weird powers, and
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, you could use the power of like the evil things we're supposed to be killing to get stronger, and it's like, hey, that's cool. And not only
Yeah.
that, there are different ways to use the evil power depending on like what kind of being you are, and it's just like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of weird, cool stuff in Bleach.
Kubo's always been really creative and really bad at, like, chaining ideas together. There is a point where they fight a sentient brain in a jar who has the power to imagine things and just make things become real based on what he imagines. And he just murders a dude by imagining all the bones in their body are made of cookies. Like, he can literally do anything and just control reality, and he loses against Zaraki because he can't imagine a way to kill Zaraki.
I love that. I love the fact that like Zaraki is so stupid powerful that like his raw power defies all logic.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets to the point where he's just like, he's imagining like walls of guns and summoning meteors and shit, and Zaraki's just shrugging it off.
It's like, really?
Yeah, seriously? Alright. Like, it's the point where it's like, the big end of the fight is that, like, the sentient brain imagination guy is like, fine, I'll just imagine myself as Zaraki then so I can beat him. And he literally just explodes in a shower of gore because, and I quote, he can't imagine a way for a body to contain that much power.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. I love
yeah.
I love that that's the premise they went with Zaraki, from the moment they introduced him, and just like, he doesn't have any special powers, he's just ungodly strong, and it's like they just stuck with that all the way.
Zaraki finally unleashes his, like, what is his Zanpakuto or whatever it's called, his Bankai, whatever the crap the thing is. Yeah, he
Yeah.
finally unleashes his Bankai to like just slash apart a giant fucking meteor, and all it does is it just makes him stronger.
Good. It's what it should do.
It's just a Zanpakuto. Okay, yeah. I forget what it is. But it's like, oh yeah, as Rocky finally gets his big weapon reveal, and it's just like, oh yeah, he just becomes even more of a monster gorilla man.
Good. That's how it should be.
Yeah, when he uses his Bankai, just turns into a demon. Oh yeah, that's the one.
Sick.
He just becomes stronger. Jeez.
Okay. So this podcast is a mess.
Yeah, we may have to do Mabbots next week. Honestly, yeah, I'm fine with it. Yeah, it is what it is. We do what we do, yeah.
By that time, I might just watch the 3 episodes again.
Yeah.
I'm already working with like very faint memories of them.
Oh god, yeah, same. Honestly, no, I think I'll just like not watch it just for the sake of it. I think it'd be fun to see why I remember and why I don't. But yeah, so it's like freaking yeah, Anakin just becomes a Sith and Palpatine's like, "Oh yeah, you're Darth Vader now." He's like, "Okay, now there's no time to space Popo or after us. You have to kill all the Jedi quick before it's too late. We gotta murder them all, man. The cops are coming in. We have to kill them all." And it's like, sure, all right. And Anakin just immediately goes along with it. And Anakin's like, "Oh yeah, you do know the thing, right? The power, the one that I need to save my wife. You know how to do that, don't you?" And Palpatine just looks him. He just looks him dead in the eye and says, between the two of us, we can figure it out.
He just heard a story.
He
just telling him that story.
Yeah. He's just like, "Oh, I don't actually know how to do it, but yeah, I know enough that we'd probably do it."
Anyways, welcome to the evil side, kiddo.
Yeah, you joined for nothing. Congratulations. But yeah, they like...
Did the child slaughter feel good?
Oh, this is before the child slaughter, which makes it funnier.
Yeah, that is funny. If he like fully knowing full well that he got like played, he's just like, yeah, I'll kill the children.
At every turn, Anakin picks the most psychopathic renegade option possible. He never questions any of it. Palpatine's like, "Oh yeah, Anakin, wanna murder some kids?" And Anakin's like, "Sure, why not?"
Sick. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh man, but yeah, they like go. They have the whole scene where it's like, this is another thing that like the fan art cuts out. The fan art specifically cuts out Anakin murdering younglings because yeah, I feel like that's like one of the big flaws of his character arc because it's like you went from killing like evil like actual villains to stop a war because they deserved it to just murdering innocent kids. That seems like a bit of a huge step up.
I mean, it is appropriately evil.
Oh yeah, it's just like, yeah, you look at it's like, okay, he's not there yet, This is like one of the things where it's like the CG show does it like way better, where it's like, you see Anakin being this like reckless hero who like, defies orders and saves people and stuff, and he's all about like, fighting for the greater good and just doing what he can and just, all that stuff. And then, like, you also get months where it's like, oh yeah, Anakin's, like, friends are in danger and, they're dying from a disease and he needs to find the cure. And Anakin's like, okay, don't worry, this guy knows the answer. Give me 5 minutes alone with him, I'll make him talk. And he just starts, like, force choking the dude and being, like, violent because, of course, right?
Yeah, bad cop time.
Yeah, stuff where it's like, okay, this is like foreshadowing what's to come, but it's in a way where it makes sense that he'd think it's like the moral good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah,
the good, like good by any means.
Yeah, you like play the, Darth Vader theme. Is like Anakin's like choking a dude out to save his friends. And it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Just my lights there in front of some kids, and George was randomly recording it. Yeah. For what it's worth, like, for a bit you don't get confirmation that anything happens. It's just he walks up and the kids are like, hey, what's going on, Anakin? The clones are attacking. And like his lightsaber turns on. And like from that frame on, he could just be like, oh, hey, follow me, guys. I'll lead you to safety. And he just leads them out. And then like, yeah. But it's like, then you see there's a hologram where it's like, it's implied he's just directly murdering kids on tape, just so Obi-Wan can look at and be like, yup, Anakin definitely murdered kids. He definitely did do the thing. Sorry, not kids, younglings.
Younglings.
Oh, man. It's so goofy. Yeah, and the Fallen Order, it's shared that he gave some options to join the dark side. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, Anakin just walks up, he's like, hey, join me or die. And the kids are like, what? That's evil. We would never. He's like, alright, suit yourself.
Alright, die it is.
Yeah. I like that there's like, something cool in the Obi-Wan show where it's like, it cuts back to that night, and it's like, oh yeah, there was one kid there who saw it happen and managed to like run away. And
Isn't that a plot point in a movie?
Maybe. In like one of the Star Wars movies?
One of the like Disney ones, I think.
I don't think so.
Maybe what I was hearing was talking about the show then.
Yeah, there's a point where like freaking Luke threatens to kill someone and they run off, and it's like a whole like thing where he's like, oh, he sensed evil in him, and he's like, oh, this kid's gotta go, and as he's gonna do it, he stops and he's like, what the fuck am I doing? And the guy just wakes up and he's like, oh god, Luke's gonna kill me, and he runs off and becomes evil.
Kill the children's.
Yeah, listen, Luke's mistake was not killing the child faster.
I mean, he would have been seen on the monitor anyways.
I'm talking about a different movie, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a different situation. But yeah, there's a whole thing where it's like one of the kids Anakin was going to kill manages to like run away, and she just like becomes like a freaking Imperial like Inquisitor that hunts Jedis and basically becomes like an apprentice to Darth Vader. Also that she can like try to just straight up get revenge one day on him and like just murder him while he's distracted, and it does not go well.
Yeah, it's Darth Vader.
Yeah, like it's a pretty good fight too, where it's like she tries to like, this is like in the Obi-Wan show, like she tries to attack Darth Vader 1v1, and he's doing like the martial arts thing where he's like, he's like barely like leaning out of the way to dodge her attacks with his hands behind his back and stuff. He's like, she's clearly outclassed. She's like doing the crazy like lightsaber spin thing with her weird like lightsaber helicopter weapon, and like Vader just stops it with the Force and just throws her aside. Like, it's really effing cool. It's like, heck yeah, Darth Vader gets a chance to actually do cool stuff every now and then now.
Yeah, people like it when Darth Vader gets to be like a cool, tough bad guy.
Yeah, because he's like the OG villain, right? He's like the first antagonist, and everyone just got super attached to him because he's awesome. But it's like in the original films, because of like, limitations of the time and stuff, he just doesn't get to do that much. Like, he has a cool fight with Luke, if nothing else, where he like, he like outclasses Luke in like a lightsaber fight, and then just, overwhelms him with the Force and just throws boxes at him, and it's good. That's such... Man, how people talk about, like, how episode 5 is great all the time, but that fight is so cool. Like, Darth Vader gets to the point where he just, he just stands back, puts his lightsaber, like, like he's pulling it down, like he's just not even, like, pulling it at him. And, he's just not even moving his hands, he's just using his mind to just throw shit at him, and Luke's just freaking out and flailing and just getting knocked around by bullcrap. It's like, yeah, he doesn't even have to fight you. He's just like, just so strong. He could just throw crap and you just lose. You can't even beat his, like, force abilities just doing those basic crap.
He is, in fact, a master.
Well, technically no, but he should be.
He's a Sith master.
He's a Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's the problem, is they never became a master.
Yeah.
But yeah, so... Can you imagine if, like, they actually made Anakin a master, and he was like, no, I can't betray the Jedi after I finally gained the rank of master. I have, like, an obligation to them.
I feel like that wouldn't work, because then it becomes like, oh, we just gave him master so he wouldn't turn evil, and it's just like,
yeah,
I don't know,
if
that
they
feels
did it
wrong.
sincerely, like, right? If they're like,
Okay,
you know
fair
what,
enough.
he's proven himself, let's just, like, give it to him, and they just didn't know.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, Palpatine's like, oh yeah, Anakin, go kill some kids, and Anakin kills some kids. And he's like, oh yeah, hey, clone troopers, execute Order 66 and murder everyone.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's all Order 66 is?
yeah, Order 66 is like, hey, you're all busy, like, doing mopping up operations at the end of the war. Hey, all clone troopers, shoot the Jedi in the back. Just, yeah, try on them so now they're being shot from both sides, and then, like, make sure you get them.
Okay.
Just, like, yeah, ambush every Jedi everywhere across the galaxy. Yeah, we're just gonna take them all out in one go so they can't, like, alert each other. So it's like, yeah, get a bunch of shots where it's like, oh yeah, Jai are, like, flying their fire jets, they get, like, shot down. There's, like, Jai who are just, like, in the middle of, like, a charge, and the stormtroopers just start shooting at them. It's ones where it's like the stormtroopers just form a circle and just start blasting them. And, like, you see, like, one of them go down, and the stormtroopers are, like, blasting her while she's on the ground to make sure.
Dang.
Like, one of the goofiest ones is that, like, I mentioned earlier, it's like, yeah, the CG show gives you a bunch of, like, context and characterization and stuff, and you specifically see Commander Cody, who is, like, a major character in the show, just all-around good guy, a dude who, like, found a clone, or one of, like, the clones of himself, like, living on a farm, like, after being a deserter, and he, like, chose to look the other way and just let him, like, live his life instead of reporting him. Like, Commander, like, I will break the rules to do what's right, Cody, gets Order 66, and he's like, okay, well, hey, Tank, shoot Obi-Wan. Go kill him. This man who I've, like, fought with in, like, several major battles, who's literally saved my life multiple times, just blast him.
Guess that means he played his role well.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, tend to be a good guy.
Oh man, then they retconned it, yeah. Apparently there's, like, something the cartoon does that explains it, but I just didn't get to that part yet. But it's like, yeah, there's probably some retcon where it's like, oh, they're, like, brainwashed, or, there's some programming that makes it so you have to do or whatever. But it's like, having not seen that part, it's extremely weird and jarring to look back on.
Gotta love brainwashing as a plot point.
The clones remove the chips in their heads. Oh man, so it literally is, like, brainwashing. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the 5 of them and 1 from the, like, the Bad Batch. Yeah. Man, it was so weird to get to the episode where they finally explain what the Bad Batch is. Because I'm like, oh, this is like some other thing, right? And it's like, oh, wait, no, there's a crossover that explains it. All right. And it's like you literally see the group of clones in training that, like, are just like, they're literally like defective because they're not like pristine, like, perfect soldiers. Like, it's explained that it's like the clones are like deteriorating each generation, basically, and they're getting like more and more free spirited with time.
Oh no, they're getting self-awareness.
Yeah, they're like, find ways to like challenge their programming and become individuals, and that's why they're the Bad Batch. Including one who is like literally just the same guy, but he's like deformed and has like a hunchback and stuff, and he's like the janitor. And they have a whole thing where like they get attacked by robots, and the like janitor guy is like, oh yeah, quick, this way, out of the way to like the ammo factory, out where like the guns are, out, like, follow me to the armory, I know the secret path. And he's like super helpful, and they're like, oh yeah, he's so good, he's so cool though.
Heck yeah, janitor man.
Yeah,
clutch.
Janitor man, he was too good. He goes down fighting, and they're like, no, don't, you can't make it. And he's like, no, I need to save people. Yeah, Janitor man, the sniper, the heavy, I think, is one of them. Yeah. Freaking, I remember some of their names, but only like vaguely from that episode. It's like Heavy, freaking Sniper, Twitch, I think, or something. There's
Team
one
Fortress 2.
Echo. Yeah, Echo's one of them. Yeah, I don't think Twitch was one. I might be wrong about that. But yeah, I know Echo's one because he likes to talk a lot, and he keeps like repeating what people says to make jokes about it, and they're like, shut up, Echo. Jeremy did one thing right. He fixed Titanfall 2. Heck yeah. Oh man. Yeah. It's so crazy that it's like the freaking Stormtrooper crap is like some of the best stuff in the CG show. Because they're actually allowed to have their own characters and not be as bland and stuff, and they're just dealing with like really grounded like military drama and like betrayal and crap. And it's like, oh, one of the clones in this like section is like a traitor, and the traitor is one of us in this room. Is it Slice? Is it like Heavy?
It could be you. It could be me. It could even be Boom.
Like Kaiden Goen or 66 went off. Oh man, I just see how they handle that on the show. I'm actually really interested now. Oh man, but yeah, good episodes. There's actually a really interesting one where we're just gonna get like off topic now because fuck it. But there's one where it's like freaking like Boba Fett, like the kid from episode 2, like infiltrates the stormtroopers.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, he infiltrates as one of the like, child clones because, of course they're cloned off of his dad, so he looks like them, his like clone father. But because he's like one of the original clones, he's like better than everyone else. And his whole thing.
That tracks. There's like a whole like generational deterioration thing.
Yeah. It's like there's a whole thing where it's like Boba Fett is just he also ages slower. Yeah, that's another thing. There's a whole
it's the opposite of the Metal Gear Solid cloning process.
Yeah, because he's one of the originals, so he deteriorates less quickly. But yeah, there's like a whole thing where it's like, freaking Boba Fett is literally like just trying to assassinate, very specifically, Mace Windu. Because Mace Windu was the specific Jedi that murdered his dad. So it's like a whole thing, and it gets wrapped up in like bounty hunters and stuff to try and get his revenge, and like they have to like appeal to his humanity to like let hostages go and stuff. It's a whole thing. It's cool. Jinko asked for Boba to be special. Boba was physically there. Oh yeah, like right in front of him too. Like he held the like decapitated head and helmet of his father.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, he legit held his dad's head and yeah. But yeah, so yeah, we kill all the younglings. Freaking Order 66 happens. Freaking Kit Fisto's dead. Shock T dies horribly. We see Kit Ploon get blown up. They shoot Obi-Wan with a tank. He's dead. Oh wait, never mind. He's fine. He just fell into some water.
I could see his parachute.
Yeah. So Obi-Wan just sort of survives. He's just like, alright, well crap, I had to like go back to Coruscant and like stop the signal so I can like, send out my own message telling the Jedi to go into hiding. Yeah, and Cody played off that he's dead. Yeah. Yeah, Cody just shoots Obi-Wan after like 3 seasons plus of development. And I'm like, yeah, this is bullshit. And Cody's like, yup, yeah, we blast him. He's gone.
We got him.
We blasted him on like the rock wall while he was riding the lizard. And I saw him fall down like 50 feet. He's done.
Jedi's never survived a fall.
Yeah, exactly. When has the protagonist ever, like, died from fall damage? All the time. Yeah, it's like in Digimon when, Tai fell into the pit and Kari was like, oh god, Tai's dead, time to go evil and destroy the world.
Oh, no, not try. No.
I'm never letting that go. I'm never letting that crap go.
Understandable. The switch from the switch to just pure absolute world-ending despair was the most ridiculous thing ever.
Oh yeah. Just like immediately too. Like we're not gonna check down there or anything. Bring our backbone.
not like we've survived worse in the past.
when Gwen got her back blown out by Peter in the Garfield Spider-Man movie. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, because Spider-Man shoots the web to stop her from falling, and you can see, he's reaching out for her, and it shows her falling, and it zooms on the web, and it's going, and she's, like, reaching her hand out, and the end of the web forms a tiny little web hand, and it's reaching for her as she's falling. And it just, it just grabs her and just blows her back out. Because he just, like, stops her instantly and she gets, like, whiplash and dies horribly. Fun fact, that's canon. That's how it happens in the comics. Not the web hand, but yeah.
Yeah, I had heard that, like, there's a thing where, like, she dies horribly. It's like,
And then Peter has to fight her, like, artificial kids with the Green Goblin.
Sick.
Yeah, he has to fight like the Grey Goblin, and it's like her like son and daughter or something. I forget which one becomes like the Grey Goblin. I think it is.
I'm also aware of other stupid comic book things like freaking Mary Jane dies of cancer because of spider jizz.
Because of Pierce's radioactive semen.
Yep.
Oh, man. God, it's so weird where it's like, oh yeah, comic book radiation, right? And it's like, just decades down the line, writers are like, shouldn't this character be radioactive?
Like, we use radiation for all of our superpowers plot developments. It's like, there should be some ramifications for that, probably.
Yeah, like decades down the line, probably. Yeah, why not? There's a whole thing with that, with the Immortal Hulk, if I remember right, which is a fucking nutty, wild, crazy series that ironically looks kind of great. Where it's like, oh yeah, the Hulk is like literally like a radiation demon from hell. And it's like part of Banner's personality, but he's also like unironically like a horrible hellspawn. And there's just points where people like freaking Immortal Hulk is so fucking nuts. There's a point where someone like saws the Hulk into pieces, like somehow, and like all his disembodied parts are like in jars on a shelf, and his disembodied head like talks to the scientist, and he's like, oh, you really think this is gonna stop me? Like, just snaps his finger, breaks all the glass, and then just puts himself back together, and it works. The Hulk is nuts. Yeah, the other just wants Spider-Man to suffer. Kias Kadaglia just fuse each other back and absorbs him into the Hulk. The deep slaps, yeah. There are like parts where like people just turn to like horrific, like just gore monster men with like their intestines hanging out, and it's like they're like just turned to like abstract eldritch like beings where like their brains and eyes are just like, you know, floating outside of their body between walls of like muscle, and it's the most insane fucked up shit you'll ever see. Ah, it's so cool. There's the Infinity Stone thing. Yeah. Isn't there like, yeah, there's like a Hulk comic where it's like freaking Reed Richards like genocides his like the planet he lands on by accident, and the Hulk just goes back to Earth to get revenge with an army of gladiators. And it's like the entire plot is that the entirety of the Avengers tries to stop Hulk from his super righteous like just rage, and the Hulk is so angry that they cannot stop him. Like the Hulk just wins, and he like holds the Avengers on trial for the crimes they've done. Like, he just straight up shoves him in an arena. He has them like tied up, and he's like, yeah, now we'll like just give them the biggest talking down of their life so they can face the consequences of their actions. So Surfer Glass Hulk's wife's own plan, it's Scar and Hulk just run the fates on the Avengers. Oh man. I think that's also the comic where I think they say at some point that it's like, you know, over all the years through all his rampages, the Hulk has never intentionally killed anyone. And they like phrases like, the Hulk has never caused a single death. The Hulk has never killed anyone, ever.
There's no way. There's no freaking way.
It's like, there's probably some panel where it's like, oh yeah, the Hulk like throws a jet or something, and it's like, oh yeah, those guys are dead. But it's like, the Hulk has never like killed anyone canonically. As they directly state. And he's just that good. Cap Stormy Bow with that sentence. Oh man. I don't know. I can't think of a single person Hulk has killed. Can you?
I mean, not specifically. I also
Like,
don't follow the Hulk very closely, or comic books in general.
I know in the MCU he screwed up Abomination and like stabbed him in the chest with his own like elbow spike and shit, and like he choked him out with a metal chain and stuff. But like, the Abomination seems like he's still alive in the MCU. He shows up in She-Hulk. You know, he's just run his little cult. He's just doing his thing. He's fine. He just wants to do a little like, you know, like culty self-isolationist thing with this little group of supervillains where they like give each other self-help and improve. You know, he's just out there helping out the porcupine and stuff. Oh man, Abomination is dad leader. Yeah, Hulk probably has killed his dad, actually. From what I understand, that sounds about right.
Right, from like the first Hulk movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it kills his dad in that one. Also, I don't know like what comic Hulk kills the leader, but based on what little I know, he probably had it coming. The leader is just like an evil alien that exists to do evil alien things.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Man. Oh yeah, he had it coming. He was human. Okay, yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Wasn't that like the guy they were hinting in the Hulk movie that like never became a thing? Where it's like there's a bit where like one of the guys has his head fall into like a pool of Hulk blood or something, and like you see the chemicals just start to mutate him. Like his head starts to like bulge and swell, and he gets this weird smile on his face as a setup. But then the movie didn't do well, so they never did anything with it.
I'd believe it. I can't remember the last time I watched that movie. Like the year it released, probably. So I don't remember.
Yeah, it's like they're implying he's gonna be the leader, and then it's like, oh yeah, let's just not, and now they're just never gonna go back to it because who cares? For all we know, his head started swelling and he got that weird smile on his face, and they just immediately like died from radiation poisoning. Right, where were we? Oh yeah, Obi-Wan goes back to the base, right? Obi-Wan goes back to Coruscant and he's like, yeah, I have to stop the signal, and freaking Yoda fights like Count Sidious, Darth Sidious, whatever the fuck. He fights Palpatine. Right, yeah, there's also a quick line where it's like Palpatine addresses the Senate and gets like to become a dictator because of course. And it's like, yeah, that's where the Empire comes from. Like, Palpatine just becomes a dictator with his emergency powers. And they're like, oh yeah, National Socialism. Heck yeah, let's do it. Yeah, and like in that speech, like Palpatine's just casually like, oh yeah, the Jedi attacked me and they also disfigured my face somehow, and that's why I look like this. But yeah, they have the whole thing. Yoda fights him. It's not much of a fight. They just kind of like flip around at each other for a bit, and freaking like Palpatine throws some of the giant like Senate chairs at him. Honestly, it's a pretty cool area of the fight in too, because it's like there's all the galactic Senate seats around them as they're like dueling in the middle. And it's like, you know, it's really dark, really cool looking set piece, you know? There's a bit where like Yoda stops one of the things and he just like spins it really fast and throws it back at him. But yeah, that's a whole thing. Meanwhile, Anakin goes and he's like, yeah, I need to like finally take out Newt Gunray. Yo, the freaking separatist alien guys from the first movie who are just always in the background talking about trade negotiations. I'm just gonna go murder those guys. And yeah, he just does it, you know, he just kills them all. And Wom's just like, no, you have to let me live. You have to take me prisoner. You're a Jedi. And Anakin just gives him a look and he's got the yellow eye and everything. Oh man, I like what the fan art does for that, because it cuts out Anakin murdering kids, it cuts out Yoda murdering the stormtroopers because of course, cuts out the Yoda fight. Yoda's just like, yeah, I gotta take care of something. But that's like, as they're learning the truth, it cuts over to Anakin like doing the thing and like murdering like Newt Gunray. So it's like, you know, it goes from them like finding bodies and they're like, oh, these Padawans have like lightsaber marks. Who could have done this? And it just cuts to Anakin being evil and murdering people. It's a good little detail, yeah. Massive can actually change your eyes if you do enough renegade routes. Heck yeah. But yeah. They like do the whole thing, and it's like, okay, like we have to go, we stop the signal, we're like, we save the giant, we have to fight Anakin now. And like go, and they have the biggest, dumbest lightsaber fight they will ever have ever. Like, Obi-Wan just fights Anakin off freaking volcano planet, and the entire fight, like, the freaking, like, place they're in is falling to the ground, and there's, like, steelwork sinking, and everything's being destroyed, and it's like, there's a lot of cool set pieces in this that work, and there's a lot of cool set pieces that just don't work at all. So there's, like, bits where it's like, they like lose their lightsabers and they're like fist fighting for a bit, and Anakin like drop kicks Obi-Wan and they have to grapple, and there's like bits where they're like surfing on robots over the lava, and there's like they're swinging on like wires and they're slashing at each other as they're swinging and dumb stuff like that. There is a part where like like Anakin keeps doing this dumb flourish behind the back thing where he like, just passes the lightsaber between hands behind him and does a weird little like fan motion as he spins. And it just looks really bad. There's a bit where he starts doing this and Obi-Wan starts like flourishing too, and it's just like a solid like 2 or 3 seconds of them like just flourishing their weapons at each other and not hitting each other or doing anything. Well, it looks so bad. It's like they finally like do a big force move and they push each other back, and it's kind of cool. Yeah, the fan art cuts a lot of that out. They definitely cut a lot of the goofier stuff to just like narrow it down. And you know what? Honestly, holy crap, thank God for that. As much as I can appreciate dumb choreography, it really does go on like a bit too long. It is so, like they just keep going and going. Like it is just non-stop, and eventually get to the point where it's like they both like get to the shore and Obi-Wan jumps off first and lands on a big rock, and he's like, "It's over, Anakin, you won't be able to beat me, I have the high ground." And Anakin's like, "Oh yeah, we'll see about that," and he just jumps at him anyways, and Obi-Wan just cuts him apart. Yeah, the fan art also changed that. They took away Obi-Wan screaming out of the high ground. So instead, it's just like Obi-Wan jumps over, lands on the high point, Anakin tries to jump after him, and he just gets him. And it's like, you know what? I really like that change. That's a good one.
I have the high ground.
Is the high ground really an advantage?
I don't know. I would have kept it in just because it's a meme. That's just me, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, the fan also got rid of the lot of them being like, had this happen to us, we're smarter than this. Oh, right, yeah, there's a meme I forgot to mention. Because I forgot, back earlier on, when, like, Obi-Wan freaking fights Grievous. There's a whole dumb meme where it's like, Obi-Wan's like sneaking up, and he just like sees Grievous surrounded by like, a whole army of robots, and it's like, it's like hundreds of battle droids surrounding him, and he just jumps down from like, freaking raptors, lands in the middle of everything, and he's just like, "Oh, hello there."
Hello there.
Yeah. It's just like really goofy.
Is that what that voice clip is from?
Yeah, it's from Obi-Wan just getting the drop on Grievous as he's stupidly outnumbered out of nowhere. It's like the CG show has a bunch of fun little moments where they're like doing it back and forth to each other. There's a bit where Grievous just, manages to hit the drop on Obi-Wan, and he's like, "Oh, hello there." It's like, that's good. But yeah, so they have the whole fight. Obi-Wan beats Anakin. Anakin becomes freaking Vader. They have the whole thing where it's like juxtaposing like freaking Anakin becoming Vader with Palpatine like going into labor and stuff, and like it's oh yeah, this one person dies, but Vader is born or whatever, and it's clearly like a parallel going on.
Right.
Yeah, we learned that like Palpatine, sorry, not Palpatine. We learned that Padme is dying because even though there's physically nothing wrong with her, even though Anakin choked her out and got angry at her and everything, knowing that Anakin is a villain who murders children has made her just give up on life, and now she's just her condition is getting worse, and we don't know why.
She died of a broken heart.
Unironically, she died of a broken heart, which is where we get one of the dumbest things that nobody talks about. Because as they're like working on her and she's in childbirth or whatever, there are specific background aliens that just need to show this shit. I want people to seriously look at this. Actually, I'd probably just like keep it zoomed in. Look at the background. It's like a fucking like shit post. What is this? Look at him. Look at this guy next to her.
Looks like they pulled him out of freaking Abe's Odyssey.
Yes. It looks like a CG alien someone would like shove up for like a meme or something. It's so funny. And it's like he doesn't look much better in motion either. Like they had no time. This is in like both versions. There's no clip where this guy looks good. It's just what the fuck. This freaking like this free CG asset looking motherfucker. God, I specifically had to make sure I got that because holy crap.
I'm always a fan of like really bad CG.
Yeah. God, it's like right at the very like nothing else in the prequels looks this bad, I swear.
That's what I was about to ask. Is this like the first time CG's looked this bad in Star Wars?
I think well, not the first time it's looked this bad, just the first time the prequels, because there were early fixes for like episode 4 where they had like CG Jabba and he also looks bad. I don't know if he looks like this bad, but he looks pretty fucking bad. Because they're like, oh, we show up like a scene where Jabba the Hutt talks with like Han Solo because there's a whole thing going on between them. But instead of like using the really good, like genuinely great looking practical effect puppet, we're just gonna make him a CG slug that moves around and stuff, and he looks terrible. Oh man. But yeah, and then we had like the rise of Darth Vader, and he does the iconic moment where, he's like, oh, is my wife dead? And Palpatine's like, yeah, you killed her. And Darth Vader just breaks all the robots, stands up dramatically, and he goes, no! Fun fact, the fan ad I saw was called the alternate ending version or something. And as far as I could tell, the one big change to the ending is instead of going, no, instead they like edit, so instead he's like, no. It's like more of a sorrowful scream than him literally screaming no.
That is gonna change like his tone.
Yeah, they sort of like added the audio so he's like, not literally saying no. And it works way better because of course. Then or Boba just shoots Jabba and makes himself a hut. god. How people meme on Han shot first, but that still is one of the cause it's like, alright, I had to talk about this first on while it's on my mind. In the original film, there's a moment where it's like Han Solo's like, he's like a lovable rogue, he's like a bounty hunter and stuff. Well, actually, no, he's not a bounty hunter, he's like a smuggler, he's like, this roguish, like, space pirate type, And it's like, there's a point where, like, there's a bounty hunter that, like, goes to him, and he's like, oh yeah, you owe money to Jabba the Hutt, you need to, like, pay your due. And, he's trying to talk him down, and Han Solo's like, well, this guy's not gonna be talked down, so, and he just takes out his gun and just fucking shoots him. He just shoots him, and he's like, yeah, tell that to Jabba the next time you see him. And he just walks off. Because he's like, he's like a bad person. He's like, a lovable rogue type, right? He doesn't care. And they changed it. So instead, the bounty hunter, like, shoots first. And, like, there's this horrible edit of, like, Han being, like, CG'd out of the way to dodge the shot so that he can shoot second and look like more of a good person.
McClunky.
Yeah. It looks so bad, and it's so much less cool.
I talked about McClunky on the podcast before, right?
I don't think you did.
It's yet another edit to that scene where, like, they imply that Greedo said something to Han to make him shoot.
Oh yeah,
and it just says McClunky, whatever that means.
Yeah.
You can probably find it on YouTube, but
man. George Lucas is such a hack.
Yeah. Because I don't believe at any point there's any explanation for what it means. He just says it.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Like, you'd probably, like, imply, like, what it means or whatever, and just be like, oh, yeah, it means, like, like, oh, yeah, no deal or whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah. George Lucas is a hack, and the only way he can have you understand that being turned into Darth Vader is a bad thing is for Vader to literally look at the screen and shout, no.
No.
Oh man. But yeah, so it's like we had a shot of like, Darth Vader just hang out with Palpatine, and they're just like standing on the bridge of the ship with the Empire, and they're just watching the Death Star be built. And it's like, that should be the end. I don't know why, but it just keeps going. And it's like, oh yeah, also we need to like, give exposition where, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to Dagobah, so I'll be able to, like, hide, and, you should train with your master and, find a place for, like, Luke and Leia to go to because they're babies. And Obi-Wan's like, sure, I'll, take Luke to Uncle Owen. I'm sure he'll be totally cool and he won't teach Luke that it's okay to murder children. And Yoda's like, yeah, a plan, that sounds like. And he just leaves. There's a bit where Obi-Wan's like, yeah, I'll just make sure, like, watch over him. Why not, He might be force sensitive or whatever. I feel responsible for all of this anyways. And it's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, you do your thing, buddy.
Listen, we have to hit everyone the exact place they were at the start of the series, and we don't have natural ways to do that, so we just have to bullshit stuff together. We just have to, like, force stuff to, like, happen until it makes sense. Oh, man. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like, all I have to say, yeah, that's episode 3. It's the Star Wars movie that was honestly the best out of the main 3 in the trilogy, in the prequels.
It was certainly a Star Wars movie.
It was the Star Wars movie of all time. It was the movie where George Lucas most understood characters, but he still has a long way to go. I think that's the big that's like, George Lucas doesn't understand salty, but at least he understands what a good story should look like. He just doesn't know how to make it, you know? Like, it's hitting the
There's
point.
thoughts.
Yeah.
There's thoughts in there, so we just gotta organize
Yeah,
them.
you could, like, ironically rewrite this movie to make it genuinely, like, really good and hit all these emotional beats. You just have to, like, you know, like, take another pass to the script and, like, you know, do some re-edits and all this stuff. Which is why the fan ed is honestly, like, yeah, it's alright, you know? I could have done with less of the political stuff, but it's like, yeah, sure, at least, like, you know, Padme has something to do other than just be a love interest and then die from depression. Like, die from a broken heart because her worth is defined by her man. Unironically. Don't even get angry at me for that one. That's literally what happens.
Hey, if that's what it seems like the plot was.
Yeah. It seems like Padme's entire role in the plot was to like be important for one movie and then just to be like the love interest that Anakin goes evil over. I can't think of anything else she really does. I don't know, she gets like kidnapped in the arena and like fights an alien tiger for a bit. That's kind of cool. She doesn't beat her or anything, but she whips it with a chain. That was good. God, that gladiator fight really is like the best moment from episode 2, and everything else just doesn't matter, huh? I think the only other thing in episode 2 that's like kind of fun to look back on is that there's a bit where they like get Obi-Wan kidnapped and he's in this dumb like force field like restraint thing where it's like he's like floating in the tube with his hands above his head, you know, and it looks really awkward. Like it's clearly some science fiction bullshit where he's just slowly spinning around. And it's like in the CG show, they have just an episode where like freaking Dooku gets kidnapped and the alien like pirates put him in the same thing. And Obi-Wan just walks up, he's like, well, funny seeing you like this, huh? How the turns have tabled. Oh man, but yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. Anything else you think of to talk about?
Not really. I don't know.
I was kind of hoping I'd be able to get like the podcast Mebot episodes out so I could get like 3 uploads and have more to put up, but this is already way too long.
It's fine. We spent an entire podcast worth of time talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, we spent an entire podcast talking about really a lot of stuff when you think about it.
True.
Remember the time Spider-Man made a deal with the devil? Remember the time Spider-Man made a deal with the devil to like revive Aunt May, and the devil was like, all I want is your marriage?
I've heard something like it's like a comic where Spider-Man turns into Ghost Rider, or he becomes the Ghost Rider.
Maybe, but that's a different one.
Oh.
Yeah, this is one where it's like Spider-Man makes a deal with the devil, and the price is he has to like give up like, you know, his marriage, and he can't be with Mary Jane anymore because Peter can't be happy and have a loving relationship to fall back on. And it's like, yo, he's like agreeing to it, the devil's like, oh yeah, you know that ghost kid you were seeing around this entire comic? That was your future kid you would have had, and she's been aborted now. And Spider-Man's like, no, I didn't want that. I would have done if I knew we were gonna have kids. No. Remember when Spider-Man got NT-Heart?
Comic book writers really do hate Peter having like a good life.
Oh yeah. Peter has to stay single and like just shit, otherwise how readers relate to him. Who would ever grow up reading Spider-Man and then relate to being like married and having to like deal with couple drama? I know, man. I can't think of a single person in like 50 years who would think that.
It drives me crazy because Spider-Man
Oh
is like the
man.
one comic book like hero that I actually care about at all.
Yeah.
It's like Spider-Man's my favorite. It's like, oh man, the comic book
Good.
writers hate him. Good thing I just watch like the movies, I guess.
Yeah.
Occasionally. I don't even do that all the time, but
Yeah,
you know what? I appreciate Spider-Man in the video games more than anything.
I should probably mention, like, yeah, if you hadn't seen it, I remember, like, there's a really cool action scene in Far From Home.
Hmm.
I think that's the one, the second one, yeah. Where it's like, Spider-Man is, like, fighting Mysterio, who's, like, using illusions, and he has, like, drones with, like, guns and shit, and, like, flamethrowers. So it's like you're seeing Mysterio throw all this crazy bullshit at Spider-Man, and Spider-Man has to like close his eyes and rely on his spider sense to like run through all the illusions and dodge gunfire he can't see coming, so he can like break through all this bullshit and like punch out Mysterio, and it's genuinely great looking. It's so cool.
Oh man. Maybe I should watch that one.
Oh man, as far as I've seen so far, MCU Spider-Man is pretty on point. Like he fights the Vulture, and the entire gimmick is that it's like, oh yeah, all these like high-tech gadgets and stuff don't make you who you are. What makes you Spider-Man is knowing how to like use them and be skilled and stuff. And he has to like just put the technology aside to like fight Vulture on his own terms. And it's like really cool. Bangkok's trying to give Pure the W's. The only two people who know him is Hulk and Strange. Yeah, that's another thing. I really like that like Pure just gets to be friends with the Hulk and stuff and just hang out.
Yeah. Yeah, Spider-Man, whoever he may be, if he meets up with another superhero from the MCU, he's chats him up and is like, hey, what's up?
Yeah. There's a bit where it's like, someone's questioning how good Peter's like ability to stick to walls and stuff is as ability to like stick to things. So like,
Mhm.
I think it's like to win a bet or something. There's just a comic where Peter just sort of like, just like jumps up and like sticks his back to the Hulk's back and just like, stays there all day. Like the Hulk's just walking around with Spider-Man on his back, just chilling out on his cell phone or whatever. And he's like, oh yeah, Peter just hanging out back there. Yeah, it's fine, no worries. Like it's so weirdly endearing.
Yeah.
Oh man. There's also like some crap where like, there's a comic where like the villains are like trying to beat the heroes in poker or whatever. And like Spider-Man uses his like spider sense to like wreck them and clear a house. Because it also warns him of the dangerous cards they have in their hands.
That's bullcrap.
It's so bullcrap, but I love it.
That's like JoJo levels of twisting what the power does.
Spider-Man is nuts. There's a comic where a clone Spider-Man is just running around, and it's like he just grabs someone's face with his like stickum powers and just rips their face off and like scars them horribly.
Why would he do that?
Because he's evil.
Oh, I must have missed
It's like
that
an
part.
evil clone, and he calls it like the mark of Cain.
Oh, okay.
Both Peter and Bear care about Peter. Yeah.
I love I've never read it, but I love the comic where Doc Ock takes over Peter's body and then realizes just how much he's always been holding back, and it's like, holy crap.
Yeah. Like, everyone just assumes Spider-Man is way weaker than he is because he has to constantly be trying to not murder people.
Yeah. And even yeah, Superior Spider-Man, that's what it was called.
Yeah.
And even then, like in the games at least, you can uppercut someone into the air, which I think like I don't know, Game Theory or someone did, or like somebody did a video on like how
Yeah.
much force that would be, and it's like he would still be killing them with that much force.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, man. I think someone like I think it was like, Fact Fiend phrased it at some point. They were like, "Oh yeah, Pierre's like sticky powers are so strong that like if Peter grabbed like onto the wall and you tried to pull him off, you would rip the bricks out of the wall before you would rip off Spider-Man." Oh man. And it's like, yeah, that's why no one can ever unmask Spider-Man, because it's like, yeah, he just sticks the mask to his face and you physically can't take it off.
Yeah, I guess the only time that you could possibly take the mask off is like, I don't know, he gets knocked unconscious like in the movies or whatever.
Yeah, that's where like he's unconscious or gets like burned off or something like that. You have to have some bull crap. Oh man. Jeez, there's so much dumb crap. I love it. I need to like look into more comic book crap. I love dumb comics. God.
I like dumb comics when they're like dumb fun and not actually just dumb.
Invincible is what I suggest. I should check out Invincible. I really like the anime. The anime's really good.
Yeah, I watched the show and I really liked it.
Yeah, apparently it's all controlled by one guy, which is perfect because that means they can't fuck it up by going to a different writer. There's so many instances of people being like, "Oh yeah, yo, this comic is great," and they like hand it off to someone else, and they're like, "Actually, this character's evil, and they're a sex criminal now," and it's like, all right, come on. What is it? There's like some crap where what's her name? The like magician girl. I'll say it's not Zahira. I think that's like a League of Legends. Zatanna? It might be Zatanna, yeah. Yeah, it's probably Zatanna. Yeah, the girl like speaks backwards. There's like one comic where she like wipes everyone's memories in like the freaking 80s or something. Like the 70s. And it's like a one-off like, Silver Age thing. And it's like, you just look at that, and it's like, oh, that's kind of screwed up, but, she kind of learned her lesson. Yeah, she speaks backwards, upside down. Yeah, that's it. And it's like, ever since then, there's been multiple writers who have tried to both, like, have her move on from that and also get obsessed from it and double down on brainwashing people. And it just keeps going back and forth because they can't decide what they want to do with her. Because different people have different directions they want to take the character. So she's just constantly either breaking people's consent and screwing with their minds, or being like, man, one time I screwed with people's minds back in the day, and I'm so depressed over it. It's so sad that happened. She even speaks Spanish backwards. Man, that's impressive. Damn. Yeah, okay. Actually, that's holy crap. That opens up so many possibilities. Because I know it's like, oh, you say the thing in English backwards and it happens, but if you can use other languages, like, that opens up, like, you can do so many commands in shorter time spans. You'll learn,
I guess if you know a word in a different language that's shorter, yeah.
Yeah, like you use like the Japanese phrase for, I don't know, like kill that man with guns or something, and because of translation it works out so it's like shorter than saying it in English, so she gets it out faster. Actually, I guess that's the question. Like, if you use that to manipulate someone, do they have to understand what you're saying or not, right?
D&D rules say yes.
Okay, so this is just utility then.
Yeah,
Because it's,
because
yeah.
that's where my mind goes to that immediately. It is like if a D&D rule has like a command thing, and it's like they have to understand your language.
You go to France and there's a monster coming, and you scream at people to run in like French just so they get away.
Yeah.
But you do it in like backwards French, which hopefully has no negative or weird connotations to it. I don't know if there would be any phrases where if you did it backwards in our language, it would mean something bad. I have to assume there are a few.
I have no idea.
Yeah, like, you know, how it's like muck backwards is. But Arbok backwards is.
Cobra.
Yeah. Wait, no, I was gonna say snake, but that's Ekans.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arbok backwards is snake. And Pikachu backwards is.
Uh, uh, Kip. Yeah.
Okay,
Kip. I think.
Yeah, that probably means something. I don't know. I'm sure it means something to some like scared, fear-mongering like Christian old lady in the 80s or something during the satanic Pokey Panic. Oh man. I guess there's one other thing I do want to quickly mention. And it's that, yeah, I feel like I may have mentioned it before, but yeah, people might not know that, yeah, there's a PS3, like, sorry, not PS3, there's a PS2 Episode 3 game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in that game, you do the fight against, like, Anakin with Obi-Wan, and you beat it. And you unlock a secret level where you do the fight with Anakin.
That's neat.
Yeah, and you get to fight from the other side. And if you win, you unlock an alternate ending where, like, yo, Obi-Wan does his high ground thing. Like, Anakin jumps over, he swings, misses. Like, Obi-Wan misses him. And Anakin, like, cuts Obi-Wan half from behind and manages to win. And he just walks over to the Imperial ship, yo. Palpatine comes out, he's like, ah, good, my apprentice, yo. And Anakin just immediately, like, stabs him and murders Palpatine and just takes over. So it's like, oh yeah, Anakin just becomes the new head of the Galactic Empire and just wins. It just immediately takes out Palpatine because, of course. Oh man. Honestly, probably the better option are the, like, because if Anakin loses and gets put in the suit, apparently every aspect of the Darth Vader suit is intended to cause him perpetual pain.
Messed up.
There is a whole, like, expanded universe book about how it's like the freaking, like, Darth Vader's boots don't fit him. Darth Vader's boots are too big for him, which is why he awkwardly shambles around. Because it's like, even though he literally has like robot legs and they literally made the costume, they still just got the boots too big on purpose just to fuck with him.
Yeah, I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that the actor probably could hardly navigate the thing.
Yeah, the fact that you've got this big heavy helmet on with like tinted eyes and you can barely see where you're going. It's like his boots don't fit him, his like robot legs are designed so they're constantly hurting his nerves. Apparently it's like the beeping on his chest is made to like irritate him because it's just constant and never stops or whatever. But it's also, if he messes with it, those are the controls for his life support, so he could just kill himself by accident.
Sick.
That's like constantly blasting noise to make him angry and irritated. And in some books, it's like, oh yeah, this is to make him angrier so he'll be more powerful. And other books, it's like, this is to make him annoyed so he'll be less focused and weaker. Yeah, they are. That's made to actually torment him more from Palpatine's pleasure yacht.
What?
Yeah. Because he, like, got the suit from... Apparently, Palpatine has a publicly funded Palpatine hospital.
Uh-huh.
And he just did all this stuff, but it was also, like, not designed to schematics because it's also a cheap piece of shit because EU writing sucks and is inconsistent. So it's like, they also intentionally made it bad, and they polished Darth Vader's helmet with a thick coat of voodoo hide so that, like, the Emperor wouldn't notice that it was a hack job. But it's also made of a special type of plastic work armor that's impervious to blaster fire and can survive lightsaber hits. Which is a way of saying it looks like cheap plastic, but it's really strong though. Holy crap, Star Wars is dumb.
It's not a design flaw, it's a feature.
Yeah, it's not inconsistent. We just, we just gave the canon rights to thousands of fan fiction writers to just make their own headcanons, and none of them talk to each other, so they're all completely perfectly consistent.
Yeah. Hey, why are the stormtroopers so bad at aiming? Oh, is it because all of their weapons are made from a defective mold?
Yeah.
How is the Empire winning at all again?
Yeah, it's a type of Mandalorian Beskar armor. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Wait, don't they just like chop through it with a lightsaber? I don't know if that works. Does it? I don't know. I don't know if like Mandalorian armor is like lightsaber proof, because I know it's... Actually, no, I think it isn't, because it's like, I think there's a scene in Mandalorian where, like, Luke just shows up and cuts through a bunch of, like, like, Mandalorian steel, like, super droids with his lightsaber, like they're nothing, and it's so cool. They create the most powerful droids that have ever existed, and Luke just fucks them up immediately.
Good.
Pins on the purity. Boba's armor's pure Beskar. He tanked a saber slash from Luke. Jeez. Yeah, that makes sense. That honestly adds up. Because I know they have, like, the crazy, like, the freaking black lightsaber, the crazy Mandalorian sword. It's, like, a whole lore thing that, funny enough, shows up in, like, the CG show and the Mandalorian, so it has, like, continuity to it. It's like, it's basically just a weirdly colored lightsaber that they just pass from leader to leader as a status symbol. Or rather, they win from leader to leader because you have to win the leader rights in a duel and you take the sword, and that's how it works. And it's like, I think the Mandalorian does block it at some point for a second, but it's like, it's clearly, like, fucking his armor up, and it's gonna, like, saw through if he doesn't, like, like, parry it, right? It's like one of those deals.
Right.
Yeah, it turns white depending on who's wielding. Oh, the Mandalorian sword. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, purifying and corrupting it. Yeah, I know Maul just took it. It's heavy as heck if you aren't worthy. Yeah. That's kind of cool. That it's like, oh yeah, it's like a crazy space crystal, and it can like tell if you're like, pure of heart or whatever. Like, it doesn't really do much. It's just like, oh yeah, you know, if you're worthy, it just makes things easier on you.
Hmm.
I don't know, that makes sense. I can get behind that.
Yeah, why not?
God, I think the one takeaway is watch The Mandalorian. This show's this movie is bullcrap.
Hmm.
This movie is bullcrap. Watch the original films and then watch The Mandalorian and CG show or whatever, and then just stick to the side stuff. Yeah, watch the original movies and then watch the side material and nothing else. But probably not Book of Boba Fett. I've heard that one kind of sucks. I've heard Book of Boba Fett is just kind of lame and the action's not great and people didn't really like it.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm so curious how Ahsoka's gonna, because it's like I haven't seen the character development, so it's like how does she get to this point, you know? How do we get from the point where like Ahsoka is just this like, you know, really like pathetic, just, you know, like try hard, how do you do fellow kids, like crybaby whatever who gets her way, to being like, oh, Ahsoka is like a stone cold, like serious badass who does what's right.
Hmm.
Legit give us a reason on why it lived. They just decided to remove a hut, and they became a himself. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, how
He
he
turned into a
escaped.
house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they mean like freaking like what the crap.
No, I know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a dumb naming thing.
Yeah, like Pizza the Hut.
Yeah.
From
No one out Pizza's the Hut.
God, I don't know if you've ever seen Spaceballs or not.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, yeah.
It's been a while, but I've seen it.
Oh man. God, I remember like that movie was so funny as a kid. Like I remember
Probably
like
still is.
yeah, I remember as a dumb kid going to like a new school at some point, and I just started laughing like a madman because I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I watched this funny movie. I can't. Survived reconnect with Darth Vader, survived explosion thanks to Urza messing with time. Then she came back to current timeline to teach Rey's relative to be a Jedi. What? Okay. Ahsoka? Alright. Huh.
So we're doing time travel.
I guess Ahsoka has time travel. I don't know.
Force time travel.
First I've heard of this.
That definitely sounds like a Sith force power that's too strong.
Yeah. That's like a MacGuffin or something, I'd imagine. It's like Jai voodoo. Yeah. You this super powerful thing. It's like this magnifies your force power so you can, you know, go through time, but you know, it's very random, so you can't use it to fix any bad things that happened. Something with spirit animals. like Ahsoka just has like a spirit wolf or something.
Good.
Okay. Sure. Like gates and walls and murals, yes. Man, I was kind of joking. I feel like if you're gonna give us she's a spirit, of course she is. Everyone's the spirit wolf. Oh man, I forget who it was that said like, yo, if like freaking every spirit wolf was real, there won't be enough wolves on the planet to go around. Oh man. Jeez. I was thinking it's like, oh yeah, it's an alien universe, so maybe it's like, yo, it's like a spirit-like alien creature of some kind. It'd be weird and interesting. It's like, alright, sure. Gao saved her as a small gremlin creature. Okay, yeah. I'm thinking like maybe a spirit, like, what's it called? Like a tauntaun, like the weird kangaroo things. there's like some weird kangaroo creatures they just ride in the snow, and it's like they get trapped in a blizzard, and Luke's like, well, fuck, we have to cut this thing open and hide inside of it to survive the night. It's like such a weird detail, but it's like an actually like really good practical effect. Yeah, no, like all fours, like monster on Tatooine. Okay, yeah. Oh man, I know. God, it's going so goofy when we talk about the actual original movies. And it's like, oh yeah, this is the first time they do this thing, and you're gonna be like, wait, what? Seriously? It's like, yeah, this is when they established that this thing. Excuse me. I don't know. Anything else we want to say about things?
Nah, not really.
Nah. Alright. Oh, about them. Yeah. About Theon? Yes. Okay, yeah? Yeah, go for it. I've got, like, nothing else to really say. Might as well just, wrap things up. I assume there's, like, typing going on, whatever, it's fine. I forgot to spell, but the general in blue. I'm trying to remember who that is. All I remember is like Rex and Cody. Oh, is he like one of the rebel guys? He might be one of the rebel guys. Maybe, yeah. He and Urzus and that guy to the furthest out of the galaxy, to the immortal city. Oh, okay, that sounds cool. First part of the galaxy. Yeah. Wait, there's an immortal city? Excuse me? No, I can't get wrapped up in this right now. We're almost 3 hours in. We've spent as much time talking about Star Wars as we're probably going to spend screwing around in Baldur's Gate. Oh god. We've spent longer talking about the movie than it takes to watch the movie by like a good hour now. Stars the Old Republic lore. Okay, yeah. I feel like I know nothing about this, so sure. I know the Mandalorians are a thing. I know about them. Thrawn, yeah, who? I don't know, I don't remember. It's the general for the Empire. Which one? I don't know. Oh man. Alright, I'm probably gonna like, yeah. He worked for Palpatine. Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down? I'm like, yeah, is he? Which Nazi is he? Is he the guy in like the hat? Is he the guy manning the thing? Is he the dude who had like the whole thing where he became casual friends with Vader and was the like betrayed or whatever? Blue skin guy with the Palpatine's alien boyfriend, that guy. Yeah, okay, yeah. Blue alien guy who's like always by him in the background. Yeah. The guy who's like always with him as he's doing the like, Republic. I'm throwing the blue skin guy with red eyes. The guy with like the spikes coming out of his head, right? The dude who's very horny. Palpatine's horny alien boyfriend. Oh man. Okay, yeah, I'm glad he gets lore. I'm glad he gets something. Yeah, let's roll with that. Oh god. Alright, I'm gonna start the raid now. I'll see you guys around.
Yep. Later.
Later. And what the crap is the Legend of Zelda? Yeah, screw it, we'll just raid Lugia. Yeah, he's got something going on. Yeah, screw it, why not? He's playing the Legend of Zelda something.
Twilight Princess.
Okay, it just says Link Unleashed. Alright, hey, yeah, that's the thing we voted for. Yeah, screw it, let's do it. See you guys around.
Later.
Oh, man.
All right, I want to